Bam. Bam. My peoples. My peoples. Everybody's making their prediction about Terrence Crawford, Canelo Alvarez, who's going to win. People are feeling confident. They're saying Canelo is going to knock him out. He's too small. Then there's those of us who know that Crawford's going to whoop him. But it's going down on September 13th, man. That's it. We're going to find out what's really going to happen. My peoples, y'all know what this is. Welcome to another episode of Boxing for Breakfast. I'm Jay Smith, and you're about to get a healthy dosage of sweet science early in the morning, my peoples. Let's get it. Let's get it. It's like this is the most anticipated. It's not like this is the most anticipated fight of boxing. If you think about it, we're talking about it's in September, and this fight has been a non-stop topic of conversation from the moment that it was announced that Bud and Canelo was fighting. It's like there's a lot of fights going on around that one, but it's just how big Canelo versus Crawford is of a fight. It's how big that is, my peoples. And people feel so confident. I'm looking at a post from the Ring magazine, and you see people going on the comments. Oh, Canelo's gonna knock him out. Canelo's gonna embarrass him. Oh, Canelo's gonna make it look easy. Like, oh my God, man, these people, what's gonna happen when they have to watch Canelo get beat up? What they gonna do? I mean, I already said it the other day. They're gonna go into hiding. It's gonna be embarrassing. And what happens when somebody embarrasses you? You go into hiding. Well, not everybody. Everybody doesn't, do that. If I make a prediction and I get it wrong, I can accept that I got it wrong. But there's people who they go so hard into it, into their prediction about how it's gonna be easy. Canelo's just gonna knock him out, and it's gonna be the easiest fight ever for him. And when you say stuff like that, and the fight plays out nothing like it, you don't want to show your face. It's hard to show your face. You have to wait like a couple of weeks or even a couple of months while you're trying to figure out excuses and talking to other Canelo fans that's feeding you excuses too, and y'all going back and forth to see what are the best excuses that I can use when I re-emerge back to social media. I'm telling you, we're gonna see how it plays out. Kind of like with Shakur Stevenson and William Zepeda. All my peoples who said that Shakur Stevenson was gonna, whoa, damn, that's a lot of birds. All the people that said that Shakur Stevenson was gonna run all night. Shakur was gonna run all 12 rounds because he cannot handle the pressure. There's no way that he's gonna be able to handle that pressure Zepeda was gonna apply on him. Oh, Zepeda's gonna stop Shakur. Y'all remember those comments? Where they at? Where are they? Where are the people? Look. I'm gonna show you that there's a lot of fans that they go hiding together. They somewhere together. I don't know where they at though. Where's the Errol fans? The Errol Spence fans who say he was gonna knock Crawford out? Who say he was gonna walk him down because Terrence Crawford is too small? He was gonna beat him up. Where those Errol Spence fans at? I don't know. I don't see them. Anyway, can't find them. Today, everybody happened to have known that Crawford was going to win that fight. Everybody knew Crawford was going to knock him out. I don't know how is this. How is it that before the fight, I was a goofball for saying that Bud was going to knock Errol out in the 8th or the 9th round? That made me a goofball. But after the fight, everybody knew he was going to knock him out. I don't understand it. I have very clear memory. I have posts where everybody's joking because I'm saying he's gonna knock Spence out. But like I said, somehow, some way, everybody knew that Bud was gonna stop him. So where are all the people who told me that Spence was gonna win that fight? Where are they? I don't know. So it's the same thing when it comes to Shakur Stevenson and William Zepeda. Where are all the people that told me William Zepeda is gonna run all night long? Where are they? You know where they at? They hiding with Errol Spence fans. So when Crawford beat Canelo, where you think they gonna go? They're gonna go high with the fans who said Shakur was gonna run all night and the fans who said Errol's gonna knock Crawford out. They all gonna be hiding together. That's how it's gonna play out, my people. Because at the end of the day, we can make all the predictions in the world, but what happens when we get it wrong? And you were so confident. Oh, big Canelo, little Crawford. Man, we already seen how many face-offs at this point. They damn near the same size. Crawford look a little bit bigger, in fact. While there's people expecting this difference in power between Crawford and Canelo, the difference in power is probably gonna be like this. Mess around, it might tip in Crawford's favor, as big as he got. And y'all thinking, oh, Canelo's gonna... Look, man, I'm gonna tell you like this. When Terrence Crawford land a big... when Canelo Alvarez land a big shot on Terrence Crawford, boom! And Terrence Crawford counter that, boom! That's when Canelo fans are gonna start to be scared for him. Because they're gonna say, damn, he caught Crawford with a monster shot. He didn't knock him out. He didn't drop him like we thought. We thought Crawford was gonna react like a little paper bag when Canelo hit him. And that didn't happen. Then when you realize that Canelo's not just gonna knock him out, and you're watching him being outboxed, you know how you're gonna feel? You're gonna feel the same way Errol Spence fans felt when they was watching Canelo get pummeled. Talked all that shit about how big Canelo is, and it turned out he didn't look big at all in front of Crawford when it came to fight night. So all I'm saying is, to the people who suggest that Canelo's gonna knock Crawford out, get at me on September 14th, man. Don't do what y'all did when y'all said Shakur was gonna run all night from Zepeda and then disappear the next day. Don't do it like that. Don't do what y'all did when Errol got pummeled. That's all I'm saying. Show up. Keith Mireles. The fight is going to end in a draw. Politics. The revenue for a rematch will be huge, my man. Well, my man, that's gonna be easy to shoot down because there's already a rematch clause. Regardless of who wins, there's gonna be a rematch. So there goes that logic debunked. They don't need to make it a draw to do a rematch. It's already in the contract. So, no, that's not good. It's not gonna be a draw. Canelo's gonna lose by unanimous decision, and Canelo's gonna get a rematch depending on how the fight plays out. If Crawford pummels him and makes it look easy, there might not even be a rematch. He might just be not like, nah, man, let me just go fight Jake Paul. This dude beat me up. Because if you remember, Errol Spence was supposed to have a rematch. He wasn't having that shit. He wasn't having that shit. And people was really out there believing that Errol Spence would have fought Crawford at 154. Meanwhile, look, Errol Spence haven't fought in 2 years and never came back. So Crawford retired Spence. Just remember that. Retired them. The same guy that y'all thought was going to knock Crawford out, Crawford put him out of business, put him out of commission. Hold on, my people. Let me move something out of the way real quick. So y'all think about that, my people. How many of you, be honest, how many of you predicted, be honest, y'all, how many of you predicted that Crawford was going to get knocked out by Canelo? Be honest. So it's like everybody knew Crawford was gonna knock Canelo out years later. I can't find any of the people who was telling me or who was posting all over social media that Canelo was gonna beat him up, that Crawford was too little, Canelo was gonna walk. I mean, Errol Spence was gonna beat him up, Crawford was too little. Y'all remember the narrative, but once the fight played out the way that it did, everybody who was talking about that narrative just mysteriously disappeared. I don't know where they at. I've never been able to get in contact with them. I've been considering doing a wellness check because I don't know where they at, my peoples. That's just the reality. It was very easy to predict that Errol Spence was going to absolutely brutalize Terrence Crawford. You could predict that. You could predict whatever you want. But then when the fight really happened, where you at? Everybody wanted to disappear. Can't find them anywhere. Nowhere to be found. So all I say, if you make a prediction and it don't go through, don't disappear, my people. Show up. Show your face. What I just do. Here you go. Show your face when that prediction don't work out the way you thought it would. Keith Mireles, Alvarez retired. How many boxers now? Spence, body, and mental was gone before the fight with Crawford. Okay, everything that you said would actually make sense around casual fan circles, but everything is actually inaccurate. Because look how you say Alvarez retired how many fighters? And look what you say about Errol. You're doing the classic casual fan hater tactic where you try to discredit the opponent. You see, because I'm not a hater like yourself, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that Floyd fought a washed up Miguel Cotto, a washed up Kovalev, a bunch of washed up fighters that he beat too. I'm not going to sit here, I don't have to tell you that because you already know that, but you got to hate on Crawford and you got to make up fake news. Errol Spence was coming off of beating a world champion in Ugas, a reigning world champion in Ugas. But he beat a reigning champion in Ugas and a former champion in Danny. But his body and mental was gone. The first thing is, Keith, you got to understand. You're not a psychologist. You're not a psychiatrist. You never evaluated Errol Spence. So when you say his mental was gone, you literally made that up out of thin air. I don't know how you come up with these conclusions. Like out of thin air, well, his mental was gone. Somebody that you don't know, you never met, you only seen on TV, you decided that his mental is gone. That's nasty work. Nasty work. Then, somehow, Spence's body was also no good. After beating a world champion in Danny Garcia and after beating a reigning world champion in Ugas, his body was no good. That's what happened when you want to be a hater, when you hate on a fighter so much that you make up logic that in your head it sounds good. In your head, you're like, yeah. But nah, that's just hater logic. Straight up hater logic. Keep Mireles. No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying Spence with the car wreck. Bro, after the car wreck, Errol Spence fought 2 world champions and beat both of them. So the car wreck went away so he could beat 2 champions and the car wreck came back so he could lose to Terrence Crawford. That doesn't make sense. The car wreck didn't affect him for Danny Garcia and for Ugas, but now the car wreck came back. That doesn't make sense, bro. And by the way, look, you see how you bring up the car wreck? I ask you, Keith Mireles, and this is the way that I debunk your logic. What injury from the car wreck do you think affected him in the Errol Spence fight? I'll wait. You tell me. Because the car wreck in itself didn't affect him for the fight. It had to be an injury that you think happened that changed his body. What injury do you think affected Errol's body 2 years later? Enlighten me, Keith Mireles. And you've been talking real fast. You've been chatting real fast. And you're taking your time now. So if you need to Google something, if you need to chat GPT something, Keith Mireles, mental PTSD from the wreck. Now, Keith Mireles, can you tell me exactly where you got that information? That Errol Spence got mental PTSD from the wreck? What was your source for this information? Because it sounds to me like you made it up out of thin air. Like not even a psychologist, without seeing a patient, will make a diagnosis like that. but you're making it. So go ahead and tell me how you found out that Errol Spence got PTSD. Keith Mireles. Because, you know, if you're talking to me and you make up stuff out of thin air, it's going to be easy for me to expose it. Again, I bring you back to what happens when you're a hater. You got to keep up either making up lies or making up weird angles and weird point of views because you just don't want to give credit where credit is due, my brother. That's all there's to it. John Parham, direct is always going to be an issue. Jay, Will, salute, bam, Keith Mireles. Hold up, Bato. I'm talking about the human element. I understand, Bato, about the human element, but how do you decide that there's mental PTSD? I was in a horrible car wreck. Horrible. You look at the car I was in, and that shit was completely total. You think people died in it. And I don't got no PTSD. What is you talking about? How do you decide that somebody got PTSD, my brother? Keith, you wilding out. In your hate, to try to find a way to hate and diminish Crawford's victory, you make up stuff out of thin air, bro. The human element, yes, there's a human element, but you can't go into Errol Spence's head and dictate how that affected him just because you don't want to give credit to Crawford. That's exactly what you're doing. You never seen anywhere that he got PTSD from the accident. You never seen any doctor come out and say, yeah, I watched Errol and I was able to verify. Nothing. You just decided that? That's nasty work, brother. That's wicked. Bato, that's wicked. Check it. You're on top of the world. New baby on the way. The recovery. Keith Mireles. I don't know how you come up with that, bro. I don't know how. I have no clue how you decided that somebody got PTSD. Just like that, you just decided it? No source. You don't need no source. Look, let me tell you like this, Keith Mireles. By what you're saying, I know for a fact that you've never studied anything to do with psychology. Anything to do with that field. You really making a diagnosis just out of thin air? That is wicked, brother. That is evil. That is evil, bro. You don't even realize it. Come on, Bato. Stop it. Don't be evil like that. Don't make stuff up out of thin air just to diminish a victory. Don't do that, bro. Don't be the hater. My peoples, I'm telling you, that's what's always been done throughout history. Try to diminish a huge win. Terence Crawford's win over Errol Spence is one of the biggest wins of this era. One of the biggest wins of this era. So people like Keith Mireles try to diminish it by saying, nah, look, Errol Spence wasn't the same. So Errol Spence PTSD disappeared when he fought Danny and when he fought Ugas, and then the PTSD came back when he was going to fight Bud. I don't know. I don't know, Keith Mireles, how you making that diagnosis, my G, but, you know, it seems like when you talk to a different Errol Spence fans, they got a different excuse and a different explanation and something different that they come up with to try to diminish that victory. One of the biggest victories of this era. Errol Spence pummeling, battering. Crawford pummeling and battering Errol Spence the way he did is one of the biggest wins of this era. And you, Keith Mireles, you're going to try to diminish it by coming up with that stuff? Come on, bro. Come on, bro. Come on, Keith Mireles. Oh, so look. First, Keith Mireles, I'm going to tell you like this. I'm going to need for you to show me that what you're saying is true. And if you show me, then I'll say it right here. Yo, Keith Mireles is this, and that. Right? You got to show me. I don't believe you because you're saying it in the chat. Because in the chat, man, I seen everything. Everybody's everything in the chat. You know, in the chat, I don't know who you are. I don't know what you're really saying. I can't confirm it. You can say whatever you want. So if you are that, shame on you for making a diagnosis on somebody that you never even seen. Shame on you, brother. You know that's unethical. You're not being professional by doing what you're doing. Shame on you, brother. Shame on you. Graduated and you making a diagnosis of somebody that you never seen? Shame on you, brother. Come on now. You talking about, oh man, that's shameful, bro. You breaking moral codes, you breaking etiquette by making a diagnosis of a patient that you never seen, that you never spoken to, that you only seen on TV. So either you lying or you're not very good in your field because you don't even know how to follow protocol. One of those two has to be it. Ivan Curry, sir, all due respect, bro, to each its own. Canelo is going to let his hands go. May the best man win. I wish I could put $500 on it with you, personally. Now, listen. Everybody has the right to think that this person is going to win and that person is going to win. It's okay. It's boxing. You know, we're going to be lean either towards one fighter or another. But when a fighter gets a big win and you try to diminish it by making up fake news, by making up stuff out of thin air, you come across as a hater, bro. You come across, it's like you cannot handle that fighter being successful. It bothers you. So you gotta lie. You gotta make up fake narratives. Look, Keith Mireles is saying that Errol Spence had PTSD. How the fuck he came up with that shit? He didn't read it nowhere. He didn't see it nowhere. He just made it up. He just made up Keith Mireles. That's a lie. Don't lie, brother. Look, I talk to in the closet Crawford haters every day. And you guys do all the same thing. You diminish his victories. You talk bad about his opponents. And then you be like, nah, but I'm a Crawford fan. I didn't say nothing bad about him. Stop it, Keith Mireles. You already exposed yourself with your logic about how Errol Spence got PTSD. You really made some shit up out of thin air just to hate on Crawford. So I'm a Crawford fan. You're not fooling nobody with that, bro. Nobody's going to believe you. Nobody believes you. I talk to in the classic Crawford haters and in the classic Shakur haters every single day. And all I hear is that they talk all the same thing that the haters say, all the same logics that the haters say, but then at the end of it, but I'm a fan of his. I'm a fan of his. He's one of my favorite fighters. But I shit on all his opponents. And I make stuff up out of thin air to not give him credit. But I'm a fan of his. Come on, brother. I know an in the closet hater when I see one. Evan Curry, true, sir. But I never hated Crawford. I simply think Canelo is just a better fighter because of his size and power. I never said Ivan Curry that you a hater or that you hate it. I'm talking about some fans, the way that they deal with it. The way that they deal with hate is by not being straightforward and say, I hate on this fighter, but they hate on their victories. They hate on their accomplishment. They diminish their accomplishment and then sit there and have the balls to say, yeah, I'm a fan of his, though. I'm a fan. Nobody's going to believe you after you've been hating this whole time, bro, huh? What are we doing over here? You know what I'm saying? But listen to what you say, Ivan Curry. Listen to what you said. I simply think Canelo is just better fighter because of his size and power. I'm here to tell you, my brother, that size and power has never made anybody better. Boxing is a sport about skills. 9 times out of 10, skills is going to win. So if you notice, subconsciously, you yourself, my brother, know Crawford is the most skillful fighter. Canelo fans, y'all know, most of you know that Crawford is the more skillful fighter. So you clinging on to size and power for dear life with the hopes that Canelo's going to land that big shot. What happens when that big shot don't land? He going to get beat up and made to look easy. And then we're going to be right back here on September 14th where you might join to watch, but you're not going to say nothing because you're going to be embarrassed. You've been saying Canelo's going to knock Crawford out this whole time. Just like you were saying Errol Spence was going to knock Crawford out that whole time. Let's keep it real, my peoples. Come on now. Come on now. Keith Mireles, bro. I know for a fact you don't know nothing about the sweet science. I mean, Keith Mireles, that's the thing. I boxed as an amateur. I boxed as a professional. I'm around professional fighters, trainers, coaches. You could go to my social media. You could see fighters, coaches, trainers. Follow me on social media as well. Now, what are your boxing credentials? Because I am definitely sure that you don't know shit about boxing. You watch boxing on TV, on social media, you decided that you're an expert. And you got on Box Center and started to get cooked. You're getting cooked out here, bro. Making stuff up out of thin air, you're getting cooked. talking about Errol Spence got PTSD. Don't embarrass yourself. You got to talk that shit with casual fans like yourself who don't know shit about boxing, and that'll become an interesting conversation. It'll become an interesting talking point. Come on now, stop it. Stop making stuff up out of thin air. Come on now. JC Lenoshan, for real. El Gato, how much do you charge for a month of training? I don't train, my brother. P3, Canelo gonna win. I mean, look, anybody who says Canelo is gonna win, it's a reasonable opinion. That's the look, let me show you the difference between an analyst and just a boxing fan and a casual fan and a hater. Keith Mireles, in order to subliminally hate on Terence Crawford, he diminishes his victories. Oh, look, Errol Spence wasn't the same when he did that. Right? So he brings up that Canelo's done a lot and how many Canelo retired and Errol Spence wasn't the same. So notice how he diminished Crawford's opponents. But he don't say all the washed up champions that Canelo beat too. He don't say that. So right there you can see the hater tactics, the hater point of view. And then right after hating on Crawford, oh no, but I'm a Crawford fan. I'm a Terence Crawford fan. But you spitting all the hate, Terence Crawford hater logic. And lying, making shit up out of thin air. Nah, he got PTSD. I just made that up out of thin air because I went to college. And I studied sports medicine. Huh? Then you got somebody who didn't study sport medicine cooking you about sports medicine. Cooking you about codes and ethics. And you're not being able to diagnose a patient that you never seen. What kind of professional are you? You either lying about being a professional in that field and don't know shit about that field, just making stuff up out of thin air to try to win a debate, which is corny and goofy. Or you're telling the truth and you're horrible. You're not a professional at all. You can't diagnose somebody that you've never seen. Come on, Keith Mireles. You're doing it to yourself. Bam Bam Boogie. They hit different at 168. I know they hit different at 168. They do hit different at 168. And? What exactly is that supposed to mean? They hit different. What happened with him? Bivol doesn't hit different. Bivol doesn't have power. Beat the shit out of him. What happened? What happened when he fought Bivol? Bivol don't hit different. Bivol don't have a high knockout percentage. Bivol ain't knocking people out. Isn't even known as a power puncher. What happened? So the narrative that, Bivol was too big. My nigga, Bivol got a 50% knockout. Bivol got 12 knockouts in his whole career. 12 knockouts in his whole career. Come on, man. Come on, man. Bivol got 12 knockouts in his whole career. Tell me that. That's the guy that you say was too big and that's why he beat Canelo? Bivol didn't use power. Did you see Bivol putting his weight on Canelo? Did you see him clenching, hanging on him, pushing him down, using all these tactics to wear him down with his weight? No. You didn't see that? Did you see power? Did you see Canelo get hurt? Did you see Canelo about to get knocked out? No. He got outboxed and made to look easy. How is it that y'all don't understand that Canelo got outboxed, made to look easy twice, and y'all keep clinging onto power? Come on, my people. Come on, my people. Keith Mireles, hey, my man, I appreciate your time. Thanks for the conversation. It's work time. One love, la raza. La raza. Oh, pero es México que está en la casa. Boom. Appreciate you, Keith Mireles. Enjoy your day at work, my brother. And everybody else who's headed to work, do your thing, my peoples. And there's some people, some of you having breakfast. What y'all having for breakfast, B? This is boxing for breakfast. So some of you may already have your breakfast. Some of you are about to have your breakfast. I'm about to have some toast with some eggs, cheese, a little sunlight. Bang, bang, boogie. Smash that like button. My peoples, come on now. 6 likes. Some of y'all ducking that like, man. Real talk. That like button is being duckative. On some medieval times type shit. JC Lenishon. Crawford too smooth to start get hit by slower Canelo. They're going to find that out come fight night. They're going to find that out. They'll see it. I think that one of the biggest factors that is going to be on display come fight night, and people are going to now finally understand what I've been trying to tell them, is that reach advantage. That Terence Crawford reach advantage. You see how Bivol had Canelo just eating punches all night long, trying to find his own range. Crawford gonna have him just like that, but worse. Because Crawford has longer range, longer arms than Dimitri Bivol. So people, you know, look right here, the same as usual, the same narrative, the power, the power, the power. And that he's bigger, bigger, bigger. Like, how did we, it's almost like you put together a narrative inside your head, and if your own eyes tell you that it's not like that, you still want to believe it the way you have it inside your head. You still want to believe it. And I want to tell you why, my peoples. For those who've been saying, yo, Crawford is too big. I mean, Canelo's too big. He's too big of a fighter. Canelo's way too big, and Crawford is way too little. That narrative should have died down the moment they did the first face-off. The moment you saw them face-to-face like that, the notion that Canelo's too big should have disappeared on the spot. But you got it almost tattooed in your brain that because Crawford is moving up, he's got to be too little. So even though you saw them face-to-face, you saw that they're about the same size, you still saying that Crawford is too small? That's how bad you want to run with that narrative? Come on, bro. Come on, my peoples. And stop ducking that like button, by the way. 20-some, 10 likes, y'all doing me dirty. But again, yo, Terence Crawford versus Canelo Alvarez is that fight where we're going to see the same thing that we saw when Terence Crawford fought Errol Spence. The same thing. And what do I mean by the same thing? People are going to disappear, nowhere to be found. And when they finally show up, they're going to show up with some type of excuse that I don't know what type of excuse they could come up with. You know, I can't really understand what type of excuse they're going to figure out. But I know that they're going to figure something out. Because deep in their heart, they just cannot accept that Crawford is a great fighter. Can't do it. Can't do it. Keith Mireles, YouTube, vato. Horchata and tortilla peanut butter. Ooh, damn. Nah, that's wrong. That's wrong. You don't come up in here with your gourmet breakfast trying to do me in like that, bro. I definitely will sub to your channel. Appreciate it, family. Bam. P3. I'm trying not to lose my money. Put it on Crawford then. And he's gonna be the underdog. You wanna flip that. Aroma Sound, do you think that Crawford can stop Canelo? Or is that a stretch? No, he could stop him. Look, when you talk about can both fighters have the power to stop the other? Canelo, if he lands the right shot, he'll sleep Crawford. And Crawford, if he lands the right shot, he'll sleep Canelo. So both fighters can stop each other. But the odds are against it. Why? Because both of them are very good at taking a punch. You don't catch Canelo Alvarez with the punch he doesn't see coming. And that's the one usually that knock you out. And Terence Crawford is the same thing. You don't catch him with a punch that he doesn't see coming. That's the first thing that makes it hard to knock a fighter out. And number two, punch resistance. Both of these guys can take a shot. You know, regardless of what the Terence Crawford haters say, they bring up Gamboa from over 10 years ago. Talking about Crawford ain't got no chin because little Gamboa over 10 years ago buzzed him. That's crazy. And Mean Machine, oh, look at Mean Machine too. And when you look at it, it's like, y'all don't even realize this guy got 41 professional fights and been buzzed twice. That just says he got a heck of a chin. That's what that really say. The fact that you got to go back 10 years to say he got hurt, that says he got a heck of a chin, bro. That's what that actually says. Bam Bam Boogie, Madrimov was landing big shots. I expect Canelo to do the same. Bam Bam Boogie, that's because you don't know shit about boxing. You my nigga. But why would you think that Terence Crawford is going to fight Canelo Alvarez the same way he's going to fight Madrimov? Why would you think that? If Dimitri Bivol was beating the shit out of Canelo, I would expect Crawford to do the same. Does that make sense? Like, why would you take a previous opponent to say what's going to happen in this fight? Come on, Bam Bam Boogie. I expect more from you, brother. Aroma Sound, the excuse will be Crawford cheated and Canelo wasn't the same as he used to be. I've already heard those excuses. Some people already got those excuses on deck. Somebody already told me, Jay, if Crawford wins, he taking steroids. Explain that to me. Didn't Canelo Alvarez get popped? Didn't Canelo Alvarez pop 30 for steroids? I'm pretty sure Canelo Alvarez popped 30. Got suspended. And Canelo fans want to be saying that Crawford is on steroids? When your mans and them got suspended for that beef? Like, if I was a Canelo fan, steroids is the last thing I want to mention. Steroids is the last thing that you should bring up, my people. Don't do it to yourself. We know that that's a subject y'all don't like to talk about. So, if Terence Crawford never popped dirty, never been involved, never nothing, don't point your finger when your mans and them already popped dirty, man. What we doing out here? You really want to make the conversation about steroids? Because then I really get to cooking. That's when I'm going to really get on some cooking shit. P3, I'd hit the smash button again, but I can't. I appreciate you. I appreciate you, my brother. Fuck it. Hit it again just to feel like you did. But y'all tell me I'm not speaking facts. How? If you trying to argue in Canelo's favor, cool. I don't have a problem with that. Because look, it's like I said, I'm not a Canelo hater. I tell you what it is. Number one, Canelo's a great fighter. Number two, Canelo's a pound-for-pound fighter. Number three, Canelo's probably going to go down as the best Mexican fighter of all time. And he's going to be at least in the all-time list, all-time greats. I guarantee you Canelo's going to be at least in the top 20. I'm not going to go further down because there's a lot of names, but I promise you, Canelo Alvarez will be a top 20 all-time great when it's all said and done. You see the difference? How people got to hate on Crawford. Nah, he didn't beat this, he didn't do that, I don't got to hate on Canelo. I could tell you what it really is. It's two great fighters that is going to step in the ring. Two great fighters. Two pound-for-pound fighters. Two generational talents. That's what's going to step in the ring. And, of course, what people consider to be one of the biggest factors is the size. And I've been trying to tell you guys, the size difference is not going to be as much as you think. Like, if you think Canelo's going to wash him or he's going to knock him out, you're going to be real disappointed. When you see that Crawford eating Canelo punches and standing in front of him, you're going to be like, oh, shit, Canelo's in trouble. He didn't knock Crawford out like I thought he would with just boop. Like, I don't know why, but people feel like Canelo's going to hit Crawford, bah, and Crawford going to fold like a paper bag. Lucy Rosales, you're asking too much of Crawford. To move mass, he's not used to carrying in a fight and fight similar way to Bivol. Okay, Lucy Rosales. See, you're going off of he's not used to because he made the move from 154, right? But what if this guy's been weighing for the last 5 months 185 pounds and he's been sparring with middleweights? He's been sparring with 175 pounders, 168 pounders, weighing 168, running at 168, training in the gym at 168, at 185. Think about it, Lucy. So I feel like your whole logic is clinging upon him being 154 and moving to 168. without taking into consideration that Crawford has been moving around in the 180s for months, training, sparring, running, hitting the bags, doing everything in the 180s. So Lucy, he's actually gonna cut down to 168, just like Canelo. And then to rehydrate, he's gonna rehydrate just like Canelo. So they're gonna be about the same weight, only Crawford is gonna be a little bit taller with longer reach. And by the way, Terence Crawford has a longer reach than Dimitri Bivol. You're saying he's not gonna be able to do what Bivol did because, like I say, you're talking like he's 154 and he's gonna gain 20 pounds right before the fight. No, Crawford is gonna be, Lucy, I promise you, Crawford is gonna be the faster fighter in the ring. You're talking about to move mass. It's almost like you think that, oh, he went up in weight, so he got fat, right? But you're almost discarding the fact that this guy is an elite level athlete, Lucy Rosales. So what I want you to understand, Lucy, if you gain 20 pounds, you're going to be slower because you're not an athlete. But Terence Crawford gaining that 20 pounds is not the same as you gaining that 20 pounds. You're giving me the logic of regular people like me and you. That's not the logic of an elite level fighter like Terence Crawford. It's not. But you're going to see it. Wait till fight night and you'll find out. Triple Savage official. You're going to wear lipstick and come live when Canelo wins. Listen, look. I want you to think about how you felt as Terence Crawford was pummeling Errol Spence. That feeling that you had when you spent months saying that Errol was going to beat him up because he was too small, and then you had to watch Errol get pummeled. You had that feeling like, damn, like it really hurt. You're going to feel that same feeling, brother. When you watch Canelo getting pummeled out there, you're going to feel the same way. September 14th, you're going to show up to this live, and you're not even going to talk. You're going to stay quiet because you're going to see me cooking Canelo fans. So you're going to stay quiet. Just watch me cook y'all. Champ, look at Crawford's face at 154. Imagine at 168. Look at Canelo's face at 152 when he got beat up by little ass Floyd. Imagine when he get beat up by Crawford. You should definitely worry for Canelo, who got made to look easy by Bivol, who got shorter arms than Crawford. Worry for Canelo, my guy, I'm telling you. Bam Bam Boogie, I doubt Bo will stand toe-to-toe with Canelo. Crawford's going to fight Canelo the same way that he fought Errol Spence. Sometimes he's going to go toe-to-toe. Sometimes he's going to move. But move doesn't mean running. Why? You saw he knocked out. Well, he dropped Errol Spence with an uppercut with his back up against the rope. He backed up, set him up. Boom! Canelo's going to get the same treatment. He's going to get set up and walk right into punches the same way. 5'9", at everything. Size means nothing. I mean, people who understand boxing know that size means nothing. So, there you have it. Bud gonna watch Canelo and box circles around him. Bud is strong and more skilled than Canelo. Bud been fighting bigger guys his whole life, especially in sparring. This dude been fighting guys that's way bigger than Canelo. They think that the size is gonna matter. The size is not gonna matter, man, at all. They're gonna be disappointed. The size is not gonna matter. Crawford is stronger than y'all think. It's just that simple. It's just that simple. P3, I legit don't know who's gonna win. But I'm gonna gamble on this shit cause ain't missing a good bet ever. Unless I'm broke. Unless that, but that ain't a thing. So I'm in. I'm saying, man, I'm going with Crawford because I got a winning it. Champ, this isn't his weight class. I don't know how you can even say that, champ. Do you know, champ, that Crawford is not going to be the first fighter to move up 2 weights and face a champion? Do you know that? So I like the way that you bring up Rigo versus Loma. Do you know that Mano de Piedra Duran moved up 2 weight classes to beat Sugar Ray Leonard? So you see how you bring up one example to favor you? What happened with Mano de Piedra Duran when he moved up 2 weight classes and beat Sugar Ray Leonard? What happened when Sugar Ray Leonard when he also moved up 2 weight classes and beat a champion? So in case you don't know, champ, it's been done before. When you say this just isn't his weight, you sound like you don't know what you're talking about, brother, because it's been done before. And when it was done before, it was fans just like you saying, nah, it's just not his weight. And then they moved up and did it. It was people like you saying that Durant wasn't going to be Leonard because it just wasn't his weight. So, my brother, this just isn't his weight. It's a horrible argument. It's a horrible talking point. Bringing up Rigo and Loma is also a horrible talking point because I could bring up Durant and Leonard and right away show you that you're wrong. So you're just bringing up a previous fight that matches your narrative, and I just brought you a previous fight that debunks your narrative. Lucy Rosales, it's a long career versus a short time sparring period. Muscle memory. Lucy Rosales, you're talking about a short time. What are you talking about a short time? Crawford has been sparring 168 pounders, 175 pounders for years. Did you not see the video of him sparring Carlos Adames like in 2020? What are you talking about? That's what I'm trying to tell you, Lucy Rosales, that you guys have the perception that Crawford is this little guy that for the first time is moving up. And this guy's been fighting big guys, sparring big guys for over 5 years. The whole time he's been in the welterweight division, he's been sparring big guys. But, again, you formulate the picture the way that it fits that narrative. So you say short time sparring period. It's not a short time sparring period. Terence Crawford been sparring big dude for years and years. You're going to see it when it's time to fight Canelo. When Canelo's punches don't affect Crawford the way that you thought that they would, that's when you're going to find out. I hope that you guys can look back and be like, damn, Jay was trying to tell me that this whole time. Canelo over here landed some big shots. Crawford's still right in front of him. And damn, Crawford landed some big shots and he wobbled Canelo a couple of times. Isn't he supposed to be weak? I've been telling everybody that at 168, look at Madrimov, and so he's not going to have no power, and Canelo's so strong. Like, when none of those things play out the way that you have it in your mind, how, like, what are you guys going to say? Come on. Five Nights at everything. Buzz bar Adames in my gym years ago and went toe-to-toe with him. With the smaller, tougher, faster. You see what I'm saying, bro? Crawford been sparring bigger fighters. Guys way bigger than Canelo. Been walking around at 185. And that's why I say when you already pick a side and you chose to go with a certain narrative, even when your eyes are telling you otherwise, you still want to drill that narrative. We saw Terence Crawford, my people, and Canelo Alvarez go face-to-face, what, 5 times, 6 times? Not one person thought Canelo looks a lot bigger than Crawford. Not one. Not one of you saw that image and said, damn, Canelo looks huge in front of Crawford. So even though we've seen them with our own eyes, face-to-face with each other, and see that Canelo doesn't look big in front of Crawford, he's not big in front of Crawford, we still want to run with that narrative. Nah, he's too big and too strong. We just saw them face-to-face, my peoples. That just goes to show you that when you want to believe a narrative, you're going to run with it no matter what. Even if you see them face-to-face. Even if you see them face-to-face. Come on now. Drew. Dustin Poirier. I don't give a fuck about that, bro. This is boxing, not MMA. Five Nights everything. Sorry, champ. You know nothing about boxing. Should change your name. Like I said, Five Nights at everything. That's the way that it really go down. But, you talking about Champ. Yeah, Champ, I don't know what Champ's talking about, man. I don't know what Champ is talking about. I don't know. He's sounding real casual right now. Drew, have you seen Conor McGregor leak? Hold on. I don't know anything about Conor McGregor leak, Drew. Big Boss, but is skilled enough to keep Canelo off home, but Canelo will try to lean on him and beat him on the inside. Big Boss, I'm going to tell you why that's not accurate. Take a look at Dimitri Bivol and Canelo Alvarez. What I want you to notice from that fight is that Dimitri Bivol, he didn't use power on Canelo. I mean, he didn't use weight. He didn't use his body on him. Dimitri Bivol used his reach, his length. to keep Canelo at a distance. And every time Canelo closed the gap, Dimitri Bivol let his hands go 2-3 punch combinations and sidestep or back away from him. So he just was never there for Canelo to land that consistent body attack that he usually does. Think about it. If I got a long ass jab and I'm keeping it in your face, how you gonna lean your body on me, my brother? If I'm like this on you, look, bang, bang, bang. And whenever you're trying to close that gap, I'm like, bang, 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 bang. How you gonna lean your body on me? If you watch the fight with Canelo Alvarez and Dimitri Bivol, Canelo, in the whole fight, he didn't land 5 flush body shots the way that he normally lands. You know when he goes deep to the left and lands it flush, boom, under the elbow, bang, right, flush. He didn't land 5 of those in the whole fight, my peoples. Why? They wasn't there to be landed. You can't land that body shot from a mile away. You gotta close the gap to land it. So what happened every time he tried to close that gap versus Dimitri Bivol? He just kept eating punches on top of punches, my people. Mel the Maker, I believe Crawford sparred with Adames. Yeah, he sparred. There's a video out there. There's a video out there of them sparring. And they sparred multiple times. Not just that, Crawford has sparred bigger guys than Adames. Come on, man. Crawford sparred bigger fighters than Adames. So the notion that he's not going to be ready for this type of huge, when Canelo is shorter than him, with shorter arms than him, you're going to find out what it means to box somebody. You don't know, you're going to learn. Champ, I've changed my mind. A lot of I know is going to be a good fight, but I honestly believe Canelo wins. And it's reasonable, champ, to believe that Canelo wins. Because I said this to people before. Canelo's a great fighter. I'm not like the Crawford haters that try to diminish his opponents and say, no, he be washed up fight. Canelo's a great fighter. He's a pound-for-pound fighter. In fact, he's going to be the favorite to win that fight. Canelo's going to be the favorite. So if you're saying I feel like Canelo's going to win, that's reasonable. But when you say, yo, Canelo's going to wash him, he's going to knock him out, make him look easy. It's like, what? Have we seen the type of fighter that Terence Crawford is? To suggest that he's going to be made to look easy is wicked, my peoples. I like my boy, Jorge. He had some long arm and was always riding our bells. Hard to get in, Jorge. Go watch them long arm. What? I don't know what you're talking about. Big Boss. Bivol is different monster than Crawford. Bivol won with length. Crawford will win with footwork. My brother, Crawford's length, you think is not going to be a factor if he has longer reach than Dimitri Bivol? You think a technician like Crawford is not going to take advantage of that? It's a combination of both. It's a combination of arm length and footwork. Bivol used that combination of those two things, and Crawford will do the same. It's not just footwork. When you jabbing Canelo outside of his punching range, is that length. You're going to see the reach in full display. John Parham, Canelo has to be in his best shape for sure, because this is a 50-50 fight. Superman, my boy, salute. Ooh, Superman is in the building. Salute, Superman. Bam. Champ, no one has ever just destroyed Bud, so that's just not going to happen. Bam, bam, boogie. Bro, we're still in July. Imagine that. August, September, 2 months away. And Terence Crawford versus Canelo Alvarez is one of the most talked about fights already. Bam Bam Boogie, we got a card this weekend. Tell me some other people fighting this weekend. I don't know off the top of my head, my brother. Who is fighting this weekend? Bam Bam Boogie. I know you don't want to hear about Canelo about to get beat up. Who's fighting this weekend, my peoples? Because I thought there was no fights this weekend. Ernest Morales. From the beginning, I sensed Canelo would lose when he lost to Bivol. I find it interesting that people have watched Canelo get outboxed, like made to look easy, made to look like a B-level fighter. We've never seen Crawford lose. and yet they somehow see Canelo winning easily. It's almost like people have amnesia and they forget about Canelo being made to look easy. And then when you remind them, they find ways like, no, but Crawford can't do the things that these guys can do. And it's like, Crawford is more accomplished than Dimitri Bivol. Crawford has a better resume than Dimitri Bivol. Dimitri Bivol has huge wins. Yes, don't get it twisted. But if we look at the entire resume, Crawford got a better resume than Dimitri Bivol. Dimitri Bivol, nice. Dimitri Bivol was able to do that. Crawford won't be able to. Why not? Why not? Mel the Maker, can it be a draw? What you think? I doubt it. Honestly, I doubt it. Especially if there's a rematch clause for the people that say politics. They're going to make it a draw so they could be a rematch. There's already a rematch clause in place. So the winner is going to get the W, and I see Crawford winning by unanimous decision. Nelson Tucker, Clarissa. Clarissa Shields, one of my favorite female fighters. No, my favorite female fighter. The GOAT. Imada 210. I've heard Devin Haney might pull out of the Norman fight if the drug tests are delayed. Thoughts? So I heard that too. Well, I did not hear about the drug tests. What I heard about is that Bill and Devin, they kind of want to been looking for ways or maybe considering pulling out, like they're getting cold feet. At one point, I even seen a post of somebody saying it's over, that fight is definitely not happening. Bill and Dev, they not trying to make that fight. So I thought that they had already pulled out. But it looks like the fight is still on. Hopefully, we're going to get that. Big Boss, I see Crawford getting in and out and using counter punches and check hooks to frustrate Canelo. I see it turning into that eventually. I don't see it right away. In the beginning, I see Crawford, the first 3 rounds, I see him winning them because he's going to be establishing that jab. He's going to show that he'll be able to dictate the pace with that long-ass jab. Canelo is going to struggle finding his range, just like he did versus Dimitri Bivol. He's going to eat punches, trying to find that right distance where he's going to be able to operate. So those first few rounds, I see him struggling, trying to figure it out. By the 3rd, 4th round, now you're going to see more exchanges. Now Canelo is getting more comfortable, getting in on the inside, but Crawford still using that work, that footwork, stepping out, pull back counters, using all the tools and resources at a distance while Canelo's finding that distance. So while people thinking that Canelo is just going to walk him down and beat him up, boom, land a big shot, knock him out, it's going to turn into a chess match. By round number 4, we're going to get a chess match. You know why? Because Canelo's going to feel that power. By that point, he's going to have felt that power. And he's going to be more respectful towards Crawford in the ring than people think. You're going to see a Canelo who's standing right in front of Crawford, and you're going to see him hesitant. You're going to see a Canelo that's right in front of Crawford, and Crawford's going to shoot first. Bam, 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 bam. Like we saw against Dimitri Bivol. Why? Because once you feel that sting, it's not going to be like the fans think. Fans describe this fight like Canelo's just going to be walking forward and Crawford's punches are going to taste like chalupas. He's going to be eating chalupas and dishing out haymakers. The fight's not going to play out like that. Unfortunately, that's not the way it's going down, my people. I promise you. Aroma Sound. I do like that Crawford is finally getting his time in the media, though it's overdue. Well, I would say that Crawford broke through the moment he beat Errol Spence. That's when he finally got the flowers that he deserved. You know, got to be in a movie. You know, all the shows, the TV shows calling him for an interview to come on their show live. You know, a lot of projects, sponsors, a lot of things started happening for him. So ever since Crawford beat Errol Spence, he's been like this, on the up and up. Everything that they owed him from before, he's getting it now. John Parham, if it goes 12, Bud will win. Let's see. You know, I said it before. Anybody can go to sleep in a fight. Anybody can get stopped in a fight. But I see it going to 12. Canelo has the power to stop Crawford. Crawford has the power to stop Canelo. Is it going to happen? I don't see a stoppage on either side. Ace B, 574. I thought Errol would give him a better fight. Nah, brother, people was predicting that Errol was going to knock Crawford out. Supposedly, and if you remember, the narrative for that fight was identical to the narrative for this fight. Canelo was too big. Crawford's not going to be able to handle the power. Canelo's going Errol Spence. My bad, my peoples. Errol Spence was too big. Errol Spence was going to break him down to the body. Errol Spence was going to knock him out. Crawford was too small to handle the pressure from Errol. Every single thing that is being said right now about Terence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez was also said about Terence Crawford and Errol Spence. The same exact things. He wasn't going to be able to handle it. And look at the narrative, my peoples. The way that people... I don't know. Look at the way that people spin a narrative. And the way that they come up with a logic. I have people telling me, and you guys probably heard it, and you guys probably said it. I have people telling me that Terence Crawford was going to get knocked out by Errol Spence because he got hurt by Gamboa. Yo, Bam Bam Boogie, but you told me there was fights this weekend and you wanted to talk about it. Tell me, bro. What is the card for this weekend? I don't know. You tell me. K-Man 44. Just ask Berlanga. Anybody can go to sleep. Damn, Berlanga got did. Tough. Look, I'm going to tell you like this. The reason why there's a bunch of memes going around and people ridiculing Berlanga is because he made himself a target. He made himself an unlikable person. When you're a guy who never beat a world champion, who never really accomplished anything in boxing yet, and you start calling yourself the king of New York, people automatically not going to like your ass. Because they're going to be like, who the hell did you beat? Who? Like, let me give you an example. Right now, y'all think about this. Box Center. The people who know about Box Center, and there's a lot of people like, yo, this is that shit right here. Box Center is that shit. But that's the people that know. Right now, the channel has 1,600 subscribers. So, I'm confident in where the channel is headed. I'm confident in that. But imagine tomorrow I pop out talking about I'm the king of YouTube. And I'm the king of boxing channels with 1,600 subscribers. People are going to think I'm delusional, bro. They're going to think, yo, what's up with Jay talking about he the king of YouTube with 16 subscribers? This motherfucker must be on meth or something? What he on? Joan Sosa. I'm not sure Crawford had a tough fight with Madrimov, and Canelo probably TKO Madrimov. So I got Canelo winning. The thing is, Joan Sosa, that Crawford fight with Madrimov got nothing to do with what's going to happen in this fight. You just don't understand that Crawford is not going to fight Canelo the way that he fought Madrimov. But then I would say to you, if you saw the way Dimitri Bivol beat the shit out Canelo, Crawford has longer arms than Dimitri Bivol. So you should be worried that he's going to beat the shit out Canelo the same way that Bivol did it and make it look easy just like Bivol. He got longer arms than Bivol. So you see, you use a different fight to say that Canelo's going to lose, and it's a fight that Crawford won, but you don't lose a fight that Canelo lost to say that he could lose. That don't make sense. Crawford beat Bivol. Crawford beat Madrimov. Canelo lost to Bivol. So you're like, I don't know what. Look what happened to Bivol. Look what happened to Madrimov. Look what happened with Madrimov. Did you see what happened with Bivol? That's what I'm saying. Don't use a previous fight to dictate what's going to happen in a future fight, brother. That doesn't work that way. You watch Canelo get beat twice and made to look easy. You're not using that to predict anything. He got outboxed. You never seen Crawford lose. You're not using that to predict anything. You're using Dimitri Bivol. Dimitri Bivol got. I mean, you're using Madrimov. Madrimov got beat. You're using a Terence Crawford victory to say that he's gonna lose. And I'm using a Canelo Alvarez ass whooping that he took to tell you that he's gonna lose. Who got the better talking point? A Crawford win or a Canelo ass whooping? You added up yourself, my guy. You added up yourself. Champ, whoa, fight is basically 1 month away. A lot of questions getting answered soon. I can't wait. And I'm going to tell you like this, my peoples. And I want you to remember this. Some of you was already here. I say, yo, the moment Terence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez signed that contract to fight with each other, that becomes the biggest fight in boxing, and everybody's going to be talking about it. And everybody's not just going to wait to fight week to talk about it. The moment they sign, we going at it. Champ, I want Bud to win just to see your cooking show, bro. I'm telling you, the cooking show is going to be crazy. I mean, don't get it twisted. If Canelo was to win, that doesn't mean that all of a sudden my internet is going to go down and I'm going to be off live for like 4 or 5 days in a row. And then come back talking about, nah, you know, Canelo cheated and he probably did steroids. I'm not going to do none of that. I'll come back and just be like, that's how it played out. But I know how I'm going to come back. I'm going to come back to a cooking show. Lucy Rosales, to be fair, Crawford lost that fight. To be fair, Crawford definitely won that fight. You just don't like him. So to really be fair, you're a Crawford hater and you're always rooting against him and looking for angles against him. The judges say he won. You're not being fair. So don't say to be fair and then follow that up by being unfair, Lucy. Come on now. You say to be fair, Crawford lost that fight. You're not actually being fair. You're being unfair. It's better if you say, I think Crawford lost that fight. Because the majority of people disagree with you, Lucy. Champ, Madrimov was an easy fight. I don't know how Lucy Rosales saw Crawford losing. I don't get it. So let Gary Russell Jr., 3 to 4 years, not fighting, not having an operation on his shoulder, and having to take over the responsibilities of his father when he passed away, Gary came back looking great. I agree with you 100%, my brother. Gary Russell Jr. looked great. The only thing I say, inactivity is the enemy of a fighter. He looked great, but he did that not versus a world champion, right? Not versus one of the guys at the top. So you got to see, how is he going to look versus those guys? Been a lot of inactivity. And you know what, man? Gary Russell Jr. is a fighter who I really enjoy watching fighting, man. I wish he could have been more active, you know. But his young brother, Gary Antoine Russell, is now a world champion and doing his thing. I think maybe Gary Russell Jr. got motivated seeing his young brother win a title. Champ, everyone just excited Crawford to stop Madrimov. That's why people got surprised. He was on a KO streak. I mean, I don't think so. Moving up to another new division, I didn't think he was going to stop him. I thought that fight was going to go the distance. I was like, yo, he's fighting a bigger guy, an undefeated guy. I had that respect that I felt like, yo, this fight might go the distance. I seen it before. I seen Oscar De La Hoya move up to 154, not be able to stop his opponent. I seen a bunch of great fighters move up to that division and not get the stoppage. So I didn't think it was going to happen. I would say, champ, it's more about this. When you see a great fighter like Terence Crawford and he wins, but he doesn't absolutely dominate his opponent, all of his haters are going to say he lost. That's just the way it goes. Look at Tank Davis with Pitbull. All of his haters said that he lost. That's it. Why? Because Pitbull hit him a lot of punches. It's true. But he didn't win the fight. Tank Davis beat him. So that's just the... Look at Shakur Stevenson with Edwin De Los Santos. All of the haters say Shakur lost. That's just the way it is. When you're a famous fighter who has a lot of haters, every time you're in a close fight, they're going to say you lost. You can't be in no close fight. You either got to knock him out or destroy him. You don't see Shakur haters saying that he lost as a Zapata, right? because they can't. He manhandles Zepeda, so they can't say it. They got to eat that. That's all they could do. Lucy Rosales, your language, Crawford won, Canelo took an ass whooping. Who is more impartial? Well, Lucy Rosales, you have to understand, when I say Crawford won, that is indeed a fact. There's a win on his resume. So that is a fact. Now, when I say Canelo took an ass whooping, he lost. I can categorize a loss as an ass whooping. Now, when you say, to be fair, Crawford lost, you're not being impartial because you're not respecting the referee's decision. You're not respecting the judge's decision. You're not respecting what it says in BoxRec, which is a win for Terence Crawford. So I'm actually going by the facts. I'm formulating my opinion on the facts. You're formulating your opinion based on your dislike for Terence Crawford. That's the difference. Crawford didn't win. No, he won. Actually, he did win. So when you say he didn't win, you're not being fair. And you're lying. That's a lie. He won. He won. Superman. Matt was holding on. Superman. I saw double uppercuts where Matt was going down. I mean, look. Madrimov was a lot better fighter than most people thought. I've been following boxing long enough to know that there's a lot of European fighters who are not as famous, not as, don't have that big name, but they're really good. These guys who had long amateur careers, who turned professional late into their 20s or even early into their 30s. And they're really good fighters. You see them with 10 professional wins, but these guys competed at the international level as amateurs for more than 10 years. And, the American boxing audience doesn't know that most of these amateurs competing on the world scale, these fighters are basically training with professionals. They're basically professional fighters staying on as amateurs. They like pros. But you don't understand that. So you see Magic, he only got 10 wins. He only got 10 wins. You shouldn't even be saying that when you saw Loma win a title in his second professional win. You should have learned about European fighters when you saw that. You should have already learned that. How many wins Dimitri Bivol had when he won his first title? Like 14 or something like that? So number of wins don't say anything. Don't bring that up. These guys can fight. So I saw a Dmitry Madrimov that was an elite level fighter and gave the champion a tough fight. Let me ask you a question, my peoples. Did Floyd Mayweather dominate Maidana in the first fight? Did Floyd Mayweather dominate Castillo? Did Floyd Mayweather dominate Oscar De La Hoya? Or Manny Pacquiao, he got him. But look at those three fights that I just mentioned. Oscar De La Hoya, Castillo, and Maidana. Did Floyd dominate those fighters? No. There's people that say he lost all three of those fights. The first fight with Castillo, the first fight with Maidana, and versus Oscar De La Hoya. All three he won by split decision, by the way. People say he lost those fights. So what Terence Crawford haters want to act like is like, he didn't dominate Madrimov, so look, he's not all that. No fighter has dominated every opponent they fought, bro. Floyd Mayweather didn't dominate everybody. Did Canelo Alvarez dominate William Score the other day? No. Canelo Alvarez dominate Dimitri Bivol when he got his ass whooped? No. Did Canelo Alvarez dominate Floyd Mayweather when he got his ass whooped? No. So why we're clinging on to Crawford not dominating this guy when Canelo have got his ass whooped, lost, beaten? And you talking about domination? Come on now. That's a weak argument. Bringing up Madrimov is a weak argument, my people. Good morning, Ryan. Lee, hold on, Ryan. Come over here. Lee Mercado. I'm no Canelo fanatic. Both he and Butt are elite fighters. Both are there in their 30s. Bivol didn't beat Canelo up. He outboxed him. But Bivol is a full-blown super middleweight heavy. Butt can't hurt Canelo. Lee Mercado, look how easy it is for me to debunk what you just said. You said that Bivol is a full-blown, right? Full-blown super middleweight, which is suggesting that he's such a big guy, strong guy. The problem with your statement, Lee Mercado, is that Dimitri Bivol has a very low knockout percentage. 12 knockouts in his entire career. That's number one. Está bien, I love you.
I love you.
Ándale. Dimitri Bivol has, number one, has 12 knockouts in his entire career. Number two, he's not a power puncher. He's not known as a power puncher. Number three, Dimitri Bivol did absolutely nothing with that 175 pounds that you're bringing up. That full-blown middleweight that you're bringing up heavy, he did absolutely nothing with it. He wasn't putting his weight on Canelo. He wasn't leaning on Canelo. He wasn't excessively clinching. He did absolutely nothing in that fight that was based on his weight or strength on Canelo. He outboxed him, brother. You said it yourself right there. He outboxed him. His size, being a middleweight, didn't have anything to do with why Dimitri Bivol beat Canelo. So bringing up his weight and size is irrelevant when you yourself are saying he outboxed him. Dimitri Bivol outboxed Canelo. The key words, just like you said. Terence Crawford has longer arms than Dimitri Bivol. There's no point in saying that Dimitri Bivol is too big in a 175-pounder when he didn't use power or weight on Canelo. It's almost like you want to suggest that he was too strong, but he didn't use any of it on Canelo, so it's irrelevant. He outboxed him. Outboxed him. Didn't bully him, didn't put his weight on him, didn't do anything. Nothing that you could say about Dimitri Bivol's victory is based on weight and size. It's based on skills. It's based on arm length and footwork. The two things that Terence Crawford has on Canelo Alvarez. Easy. But you guys are going to find out on September 14th. Aroma sound. That's accurate language, though, Lucy. That's literally what happened. Crawford is undefeated and Canelo lost. But that's what I'm saying. Lucy's sitting over here saying, well, you know, to be fair, Crawford lost. Wait a minute. But Crawford is an undefeated fighter, Lucy. What are we really talking about here? To be fair, who exactly are you being fair to? When you say, Lucy, when you say Crawford lost, who exactly are you being fair to? Because you say, well, to be fair, Crawford lost. Who are you being fair to? I don't know. Who are you trying to be fair to? Cano Crush. Good morning, Jay Smith. Ooh, Cano Crush is in the building. Bam. Lucy Rosales. This Castillo beat Floyd. Lucy Rosales, I know you want to change the conversation. I said that was an opinion. But Floyd did beat Canelo. Bivol did beat Canelo. So I ask you, did Bivol beat Crawford like you stated? No. No, Lucy. You see, I can be honest and tell you the truth. No. I never said Castillo beat Floyd. I said he put hands on him. Floyd didn't dominate him. I never told you that Castillo beat Floyd, Lucy. I don't make inaccurate statements. I don't make stuff up out of thin air. Castillo gave Floyd a tough fight. Floyd did not dominate. He had to give Castillo a rematch because he won a split decision. I don't know if you know this, Lucy, but Floyd Mayweather beat Castillo and Maidana by split decision. You do understand that a split decision means one judge gave it to the other fighter, right? You know that, Lucy, right? One judge gave Castillo the fight. You know that, right? So according to one judge, Castillo won that fight. No judge gave Madrimov the fight. So according to who you're saying Madrimov won? Cano Crush. God bless your child. Appreciate it, my brother. God bless you and your family. Juan Ocasio, Bivol and Bud don't fight the same. Bivol and Bud don't fight the same. Okay. How is that relevant? You're right, they don't fight the same, but Crawford has long arm reach just like Bivol, longer than Bivol, and he has good footwork just like Bivol and better than Canelo. So although they don't fight the same, Crawford has the same physical advantages as Dimitri Bivol. What do we not understand about that? You see, that's the thing. You can make an opinion about who's better, who's worse, but you cannot make an opinion about arm reach. You cannot make an opinion about footwork. Lucy Rosales, you're not speaking facts. When you say that, to be fair, Crawford lost, you're not speaking facts. You're giving a Crawford hater opinion. There's nothing factual about you saying Crawford lost. So you give a bad opinion and then you say you're speaking facts. Come on, Lucy. You got to do better than that, Lucy. Look, hold on. Hold on. You got to do better than that, Lucy. Hold on. I'm sorry, Lucy, but I'm going to have that wrench. Because if you make stuff up, I'm not with it. I rock with you. I rock with you, Lucy. But sitting here talking about how Crawford didn't win, nah, I can't rock with that. I can't rock with that. You know, if you want to make an argument, you can make an argument with facts, and I'm rocking with you. We will argue facts all day long. But you to try to sneak into the argument that, to be fair, Crawford didn't win, nah. There's no argument that you can make to back yourself up on that. You could disagree with the judges all you want. Terence Crawford won the fight. You got to respect that. If you want to say that he lost the fight, you're not respecting the decision, cool. But, you know, that's a hater tactic that I don't rock with. Salud. Salud. Levanta los pies bien. Levanta los pies. Levanta los pies. Acércate bien.
5628. Hablamos. Canelo.
I love you, Ryan.
Vamos a dejar al niño en el colegio, que deja a los niños en el colegio. Yo le voy a dar algo más de lo que dice la aplicación.
Amanda Rosado, let's not use a lost Duran had a L when he fought Sugar. I mean, listen. In boxing, things happen. There's a million different things that can happen. But but you recognize a hater narrative. A hater narrative, I could spot it a mile away. And haters, what they do, they always do the same thing. They either try to discredit the opponents, try to say, no, he didn't beat this guy, no, he didn't beat that guy, and try to do, you know, all this stuff that they formulate a real bad opinion, and then they try to make it into a fact. Like, think about it. How could you tell me that Terence Crawford, to be fair, didn't beat Madrimov, and then right after that tell me, yo, I'm just spitting facts. These are all facts. Wait a minute. Terence Crawford is an undefeated fighter. How can you tell me that he lost and at the same time tell me that you're spitting facts? Something is not adding up. Something is not adding up. I'm pretty good with math. I know how to add. That shit's not adding up at all. But again, my people, that's just the reality. It's very easy to spin a narrative just to hate on a fighter. Just to hate on a fighter, my people. You know, if you're a hater, I'm gonna be honest. If you're a hater, if you make stuff up out of thin air, or you come up with these crazy hater logics, I rocks with you, but at the same time, I gotta let you know. Y'all know what it is. Y'all know I call it how I see it. And if I gotta tell you that you full of shit and coming up with full of shit logic just because you don't like a fighter, I'm gonna let you know. I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna be like, yo, you full of shit. And in fact, I'm gonna tell you like this, man. People prefer for you to tell them the truth to their face, even if they don't like it, than for you to try to make them feel good and say something nice. Nah, fuck that shit. I'm gonna tell you the truth. gonna be honest with you. I recognize your hater point of views. Don't do that. And then the thing that I noticed the most, why you tell me, my peoples, what's good with the in the closet haters? What's good with the haters that they spread the whole hate narrative and then be like, nah, I'm a fan of that fighter. It's like Terrence Crawford and Shakur Stevenson. Right now, they got the most in the closet haters in boxing. They got the most in the closet haters in boxing right now. Bud and Shakur. Because you see people go in the chat like, nah, Crawford lost to Madrimov, really? And Crawford, he's too little. And in reality, Errol Spence, he wasn't even good for the fight. And then we say, damn, you hated on Crawford. Nah, yo, I'm a Crawford fan. I'm really a fan of Crawford. You know, I'm just telling the truth. Shakur Stevenson, he be running too much. He's not fun. He put everybody to sleep. Yo, you're a Shakur Stevenson hater. Nah, yo, I'm not a hater. I'm a Shakur fan. I just want him to be better. Come on, my peoples. I recognize a hater from a mile away. I recognize hater logic from a mile away. And let me tell you something. Chat. The thing about hater logic is that oftentimes haters embarrass themselves and don't even know it. Because when you're a hater, instead of seeing what it is, you look for all these angles to turn it into what you want it to be. And you embarrass yourself, look goofy as hell looking for these different angles that you really want to try to argue them. You really want to make them a good talking point. But they're a goofy ass angle you made up in your head. They're not a good argument like the way that it sounds inside, the way you formulate it inside your head, it doesn't sound good when you're spitting it out. Come on, my people. What is great? Crawford beating Canelo? Hold on. What is greater? Crawford beating Canelo or beating Benavidez? That doesn't even make no sense, bro. Benavidez is at 175. Crawford is never going to fight Benavidez. That doesn't even make no sense. That's a question that you shouldn't even ask. That almost sounds like a in the closet Crawford hater question. Like you're in the closet Crawford hater, and instead of straight up hating on Crawford, you found a nice way to formulate a question. You found a nice way to formulate it, like, go fight the bigger guy. Like, you know, go ahead, throw Usyk in the question too. What is better, if Crawford fight Canelo, if he fight Usyk for undisputed at heavyweight? You know, like how, like, come on. That's crazy. That's crazy, my brother. Armando Rosado, haters give us content. I mean, that's a topic of conversation. The thing is, look, haters will give content and can at times even make it interesting. The thing is, though, that when you're a hater and you're, I guess, giving content or I guess making it interesting, then you get emotional and then you get mad. Look at this guy's cipher from yesterday. This guy was talking all that shit. So, all right, if you want to be a hater, but if you want to be a hater and if somebody tell you to your face that you don't know shit about boxing, you can't get mad if it's true, bro. You cannot get mad. So that's the problem. Haters, they get really mad because inside their head, they convince themselves that they're experts. They convince themselves that watching all this boxing on TV made me an expert. And it really did not. It didn't at all. Like, look, I'm going to make for you guys the easiest example so you can see. Because you got to see the way that Terrence Crawford is treated, the way fans talk about Shakur Stevenson, like the constant hate that these fighters get when all they done is win. That's all Crawford done. That's all Shakur done. Win titles, accomplish, and keep winning more. Proving the haters wrong. Look, everybody said Shakur Stevenson was going to be running all night long. What happened with that? No running. So, I want y'all to think about this, my peoples. I want you to think about this. All of us have watched a bunch of movies with planes and pilots You think if you watch enough movies of pilots flying planes, you're gonna know how to fly a plane? You think you watching a movie with pilots flying planes, you're gonna be able to formulate an opinion about how is the best way that that plane can that pilot can fly that plane? No. You can watch a million videos about pilots flying planes, and guess what? You still ain't gonna know shit about flying a plane. You can watch a million videos about doctors performing a heart surgery. Your ass is still never gonna know shit about doctors performing a heart surgery. So just because you watch boxing, I think you get the picture. I hope you get the picture. We could be a fan. We could formulate an opinion. Formulating an opinion doesn't mean that you're an expert. And that's the problem. When you're not an expert and you try to formulate an opinion as an expert, my goodness, that should be embarrassing. That should be so embarrassing, my people. Whoa. Cano Crush. Super chat vibe from my brother Cano Crush. Appreciate you, Cano Crush. You already know my saying. That dough is not going to make you poorer. It's not going to make me richer. But it's showing that you appreciate what I'm out here doing. I appreciate you, Cano Crush. Samuel Lazada. Good morning. Do you think the fighter that just beat Berlanga is a good candidate for Benavidez? Look, he can fight. Hamza Shiraz can fight. But I do not believe that he's going to move up to 175. I don't see it. Especially since they won in on that Canelo sweepstake. You know that's Turkey's boy. The moment he won, Turkey was like, Hamza Shiraz already earned a shot at Canelo. So I don't think Hamza Shiraz is going to be moving up. I think he's going to stay in that division, pursue a fight with Canelo. And even if he don't get the fight with Canelo, I think that he will be staying in that division. I think so. Anthony Blair, Canelo will lose to Crawford. That's how I see it. That's how I see the fight playing out. Maker J. Smith, salute. When was the last major fight that you had the wrong pick? Zoo versus Fundora. I picked Zoo. To win that fight. Simply because of the way the first fight played out. You know, I actually had Sue winning the fight up until the nasty gash in the head from the elbow. From the accidental elbow. So, I got it wrong. It happens. It happens, my people. We're not pretending to be sidekicks and shit. You know, I try to tell people, man, being an analyst, it doesn't mean you're a psychic. It means that you put together information to come up with a conclusion. K-Man 44, if Canelo KO Power, will you give him his just reward and not just say he beat a smaller guy who moved up 2 weight classes to fight him? So K-Man, I would never, you see, what you're saying, that's hater point of view. I'm not a hater. That's hater point of view. That's probably what you did when Crawford beat Errol Spence. You started bringing up the accident and whatever else you could. I don't do that at all. If Canelo win, I'm going to say he beat one of the best fighters of this era. I'm not going to do what you did when Crawford beat Errol Spence. I'm going to give him the credit. I'm going to be like, he got it. He beat a great fighter. Aroma Sound. Hamza looks like he's big for 168 weight class. He looks closer to Benavidez' size than to Canelo's size. Nah, my brother, wait a minute. You're making a bad comparison because Canelo's small. You can't compare a 168-pounder to Canelo because he's a very small fighter. I know there's this narrative that he's big because people want to compare him to Crawford. Canelo's small, 168-pounder. Everybody that Canelo fought in that division was bigger than him. Compare Shiraz to the guys Canelo fought, and he's not big. Go ahead, compare Shiraz to Caleb Plant. And he's not big in front of Caleb Plant at all. Compare him to William Score. And he's smaller than William Score. So he's not a big dude. It's just that Canelo is a very small. Canelo is a petite 168-pounder. While this huge narrative has been going down about Crawford being too small and Canelo's gonna... Bro, listen. Sometimes we want to feed a narrative so bad that we won't even believe our own eyes. Even our own eyes, we won't believe it because we want that narrative to be the way we want it. Because, bro, we watched Crawford and Canelo go face to face. The first time we saw them go face to face, that narrative should have died down right away. The moment we saw Canelo and Crawford face off and how they looked with each other, no one should have ever mentioned that Canelo's too big ever again. That should have been over, dead right there. But we rather prefer the narrative because we like it. We like Canelo being too big and too strong than what we see with our own eyes. God damn, these guys look the same size. They look about the same size. Only Crawford is taller and got longer arms. And Canelo's a little bit wider. They look about the same. Where's this huge size difference that Canelo's this big guy and Crawford's this little guy? You don't see it. You don't see it. It's all, I'm telling you, a narrative can be stronger than what you see with your own eyes. And this is proof of that, my peoples. This is 100% proof of that. And I'm going to pull up, look, right now, I'm going to pull up the image of a Crawford and Canelo face-off. So y'all can see them facing off each other and explain to me how exactly are we saying that Canelo's too big? What logic are we going off of to say that? What logic are we going off of to say that? I don't know. I don't understand it. Canelo is too big. Well, I understand. Look, my bad. Let me rephrase that. I understand the logic. The logic is, well, Terence Crawford move up 2 divisions, so Canelo's got to be too big. That's the logic. I understand it. But if you saw them face to face with each other, that shit should be dead, bro. Look, let me show you. Let me show you. That was the first face-off. What about that image? That's not an edited image or anything. That's actually from the video. That's a screenshot from the video. How can you look at me in the face, B, and look at this picture and tell me that Canelo's too big for Crawford? Can you really look at me in the face and say that and be and like you're being honest? Look. Look, my people. How do you look at this image and say Canelo is too big for Crawford? Superman, I'm just sitting over here listening to you cook. Appreciate you, my brother. Look. And then Canelo even trying to wear platform shoes to look the same size as Crawford. So I just keep saying, people will not even believe their own eyes. Because if you telling me that Canelo is too big for Terence Crawford, bro, you're not believing your own eyes. Where do you see too big in that image? What about that image tells you that Canelo's too big for Crawford? He's too big. Armando Rosado. So what I'm trying to tell you is that in 2 elite fighters like Canelo and Crawford, the only edge is the weight issue. The only edge is the weight issue because if Canelo wins, you're not going to say that Canelo is more technical than Bud. Aroma Sound. Armando Rosado. You have to stop injecting your opinion into what you think other people are going to think, bro. I'm going to feel like Canelo won based on how he wins. If he wins a technical fight, then I'm going to feel like he won a technical fight, bro. You see, that's what I'm telling you. When you're a hater of a fighter, you say a lot of stuff that you don't even realize that it is goofy, my brother. I'm saying it respectfully. I think you already know that. You say a lot of stuff that is goofy, bro. Because for you to say, if Canelo wins, you're going to say that Canelo is more. You don't know what I'm going to say, bro. You don't know what I'm going to think. Stop doing that. If Canelo wins, I'm going to give him his flowers. You didn't want to give Crawford his flowers when he beat Arrow, and you look for excuses. I'm not going to do that if Canelo wins. That's the thing. You think people are going to do the same thing that you did when Crawford beat Arrow. You think that people think and act and do like you, and it's not the case. It's not. Aroma sound. Crawford actually looks a little bit bigger than Canelo. So look. I'm gonna be fair. I'm gonna be fair to you. In this fight, in this picture, Crawford actually is bigger than Canelo. Why? Think about this, my peoples. That's the fight that Canelo fought William Score. In this image, Canelo was weighing 170 something pounds, but he had made weight. He made 168 for this fight, right? Yo, a day or two before Canelo made 168, Crawford posted a picture of him weighing 185. Crawford was actually almost 20 pounds heavier than Canelo. So while y'all sitting over here talking about how Canelo's too big, look at that shit. Is Canelo really too big? You really refuse to believe your own eyes? He looked too big right there. Rival. Clowns still think Canelo is going to win. He won. He won't. Raw Dog. Who do you pick to win versus Morrell and Benavidez prior to the fight? I picked Benavidez, but I said Morrell was going to give him a good fight. I said Morrell is an elite level guy, and he's going to put up a good fight. I say he was going to give Benavidez one of the most competitive fights that we've seen. Rival. Benavidez is one of my favorites. He's top tier. I don't see nobody beating Benavidez right now. Nobody at 175 beats him. I don't see nobody. I just don't see anybody. The only way I see Benavidez losing is if he do something crazy like jumping up to heavyweight. Okay, now you can find problems. But I don't see nobody beating him. Maker. Also, not that Butt only beat Arrow, but he completely smoked that brother. Not even close. He couldn't end it earlier, in my opinion. He could have ended it earlier, but you saw what happened with the people who said that Errol Spence was going to knock Crawford out. What did they do? They disappeared. Now, I can't find anybody who was saying that Errol Spence was going to knock Crawford out. Now, all I find is the people who say that it was the car accident and Errol Spence wasn't the same and what had happened was. Those are the only people I find now. Tim Jr., Bivol can beat him. I mean, Bivol put the beats on Canelo. Now Crawford is going to fight Canelo. We know that. Rival. Bivol beat who? I mean, I don't know who he think Bivol can beat. We know who Bivol can beat. Canelo. Bivol can definitely beat Canelo with shorter arms than Terence Crawford. And that's the funny thing when Bivol comes up, that Canelo fans and Crawford haters, they say stuff like, no, it's that Bivol was too big. Bivol was too big. Did you watch the fight with Canelo and Dimitri Bivol? Are you aware that Bivol doesn't carry power? That he got to a whopping 12 knockouts in his career? Are you aware that Bivol is not known as a power puncher? But you're bringing up that he's too big because it was a 175. Like you didn't watch the fight and watch this dude outbox Canelo and make it look easy without no power. But you don't want to see it. You don't want to see what's really going down. Rival. Bivol is a great fighter. He outboxed Canelo bad. That's what I'm saying. There was no way. Bivol wasn't putting his weight on Canelo, clenching, hanging on him, trying to, wear him down. No, he outboxed him. So The fact that the fight took place at 175, people try to use that like, oh, that, but he's too big and strong. Meanwhile, this guy never hurt Canelo, never put him in a position like, oh my God, he might hurt him, he might knock him out. He outboxed him, outboxed the shit out of him. K-Man, I think Beterbiev can beat Benavidez. Nah, I don't see it. Beterbiev is 40 years old. Is already on the downhill. Just took a loss to Dimitri Bivol. To Dimitri Bivol. Benavidez cooked both of them. Beterbiev or Bivol, both of them get cooked by Benavidez. Love more Hinduism. Bivol is a bigger man, period. He did not use power in that fight to beat Canelo, period. Bivol being the bigger man is not the reason why he won, period. Bivol used his reach and his footwork on Canelo, period. Bivol is not a power puncher, period. Being a bigger man doesn't mean anything if you're not using power and weight, period. Come on, bro. Come on. He outboxed him. And he outboxed him with shorter arms than Terence Crawford. But I've already put the pieces together, told you what it all means. I hope that people don't disappear on September 14th. On September 14th, yo, this live is either going to be lit or it's just going to be me, John Parham, and JJ Zendejas. Everybody hiding. So look, I've been said it before, my people. This is the type of fight that it is the biggest fight in boxing. We're seeing it right now. I'm laughing because I'm thinking about the people who was telling me that fight doesn't even make no sense. I don't even want to see that fight. I wouldn't even watch it. Can't fight any of those goofballs. Where are they? Can't find them. It's almost like in boxing, when people make a real goofy statement and they wrong, they just disappear. That's like the weakest shit ever. They just disappear. Like, fuck it. If I don't show my face, it's like I never said that. Armando Rosado, I think Crawford beat Errol because he's the better fighter. Damn. You retracted the message. You must have said some hater-ass shit right after that. Usually, haters do that. They'll say something nice and then shred them with the hate. Rival, what about younger fighters? Think Carmel Moulton will be a champ one day? Carmel Moulton is a very, very special fighter. I can tell you right now. Hold on a second. Hold on. There's multiple young fighters that I follow, that I support, that I enjoy their style. I can tell you right now, my brother. Hold on one second. Got one of my phones acting up over here. So, I could tell you right now, my brother. Carmel Moulton is a fighter who I've been following since he was in the amateurs. As a lot of people have, he became very popular the moment Floyd Mayweather brought him on the team, took him under his wing. So I can tell you right now, Carmel Moulton, I envision him becoming the guy, becoming, the face of boxing. We're talking about years down the line. He just turned, what was it, 19, 18, 19? So Carmel is really young. But in the future, with what I'm seeing right now at his age, I can see him becoming the face of the sport of boxing. Simple as that. And I'm not knocking any of the other young fighters, because there's some young fighters right around Carmel's age. I mean, if you look at Abdullah Mason, he's right there. He's only a couple of years older than Carmel. If you look at Zaquin Moses, Shakur's cousin, he's also right there. So there's going to be multiple fighters who are going to be up there, like the guys that are going to be running boxing. But I see Carmel making it to the very top. That's how talented because you got to remember, Carmel is similar to a Tank Davis. Look at the styles. Look at the counter punching. And I'm going to tell you what right now, Carmel Moulton, He not trying to become the next Tank Davis. He want to be the first Carmel Moulton. And you know what's gonna differentiate him and Tank? The fact that he's not gonna be a cherry picker. He's gonna be an old school fighter looking for all the smoke, looking for the best, looking to get the titles. This guy was willing to make his pro debut versus Lee Wood in a title shot. Floyd was willing to do it. Lee Wood knew. Lee Wood was like, nah, Floyd, you fight me. I'm not fighting the young gun. So Carmel Moulton is pretty much destined for greatness, my peoples. I'm telling you that right now. Cano Crush, title fight. Xander Sayas versus Jorge Garcia. Possibly Xander versus Virgil Ortiz. Yo, you know Xander Zayas was trying to get that action with Fondora and with Virgil. Yo, Xander Sayas is a beast, my peoples. I love Xander Sayas, man. Everything about the way he carry himself. Humble kid, nice kid, about that smoke. Xander Sayas, man. I'm going to put it to you like this, my peoples. You know, he's a long way to go. He hasn't, become a champion, accomplished. But Xander Sayas, shit, hold on. Hold on one second. He has a long way to go, but Xander Sayas remind me of Tito Trinidad. Look at the left hook. How he throws that left hook kind of like at mid-range distance. It's like he don't have to be right there too close. A little bit distance. Boom, he throws that left hook, and the mechanics is almost identical to the way Tito Trinidad used to throw the left hook. The way he moves too. The way he gets in rhythm. He looks a lot. The way he fights, his style, and he got power. He reminds me of a young Tito Trinidad, my people. Xander Sayas is for real. Another special young fighter. Very special. He's gonna be a world champion. It's not if he's gonna be a world champion, it's about how many titles he's gonna win, how many champions he's gonna be, in how many divisions is he gonna win titles, is he gonna unify? All of that. Xander Sayas is the truth, and to me, he's the best prospect. I think now he's a contender. He's already a contender. He's the best the best young fighter coming out of Puerto Rico right now. About 6 years ago, 7 years ago, I saw Xander Sayas and Berlanga like right there with each other. Like they was coming up together. But it's almost like Berlanga kind of like stood stagnant. Like his skills, his power, his speed just stood in the same spot. And I just see Xander Sayas just keep getting better and better and better. And he's a special fighter, my peoples. He's going to become a world champion and do a lot of special things. You could take that to the bank to get some pounds. Superman. Like people say, Turkey into taking O's. I don't like, look, man, I don't like some of the dictator behavior that I seem to see from Turkey. So I appreciate the big fights, man, but Turkey, it seems like he's a double-edged sword. Some things you like, some things you might not like. I think it's gonna come back somehow to bite us all in the face. JJ said that has good morning, Jay Smith. I'm here. Hit the like button, everyone. Appreciate it, my brother. Bam. Mr. KO. What up, Jay Smith? What's the deal, my G? Yo, Mr. KO, after I finish this live, I gotta holler at you, man. We got something coming up for Friday. John Parham. JJ. Number 3, salute. Supreme. Xander fighting this weekend. Ooh. You just reminded me. You see, sometimes I need you guys to refresh my recollection. I knew Xander was fighting, but I didn't know when. I know that it was coming up. But I think that it is that, Xander is still not fighting big names. He's still not fighting, in big profile fights. So sometimes his fights might be coming up and you're not, keeping up with it like that. But I'm definitely tuning in. You know, I really enjoy watching Xander Sayas fights. Armando Rosado, I didn't say haters comment. I said it wrong. I wrote that I believe Mayweather, Bivol, and Crawford are better technically than Canelo. Even people could see Canelo beating them, but with all of them. So, so here's the thing. Canelo, I would say he's a very, very technical fighter. He just has a different style. Um, I know that the narrative for this fight with Crawford has been clinging on power. You know, people talking about, you know, how he's too strong and all that stuff. And he's gonna stop Crawford. Crawford is too small. Like, that's been the main narrative, the main topic of conversation. But if you're not a Canelo hater and you know what's going on, Canelo's a guy who can fight and who's very technical. He's very technical on the inside. He knows how to go to the body. His punch placement, the precision is elite level. You know, Crawford, Canelo is that fighter who you're like this blocking, and he might slightly move your elbow up and boom, punch you right in your rib cage. He does little things that are very technical. If look, if we think about it, if we analyze skill by skill, the only problem with Canelo guy is that he don't got the footwork. That's it. The only weakness, the only kink in the armor that is like we know, yeah, is the footwork. But when you look at everything else he does, whether it's the body punching, whether it's the combination punching, whether it's the counter punching, Canelo's offensive firepower is at the highest level. So that's why he's going to be the favorite to win the fight. Canelo's not going to be the favorite because Crawford is moving up. He's going to be the favorite because of how good of a fighter he is. So I would say we could consider these other guys more technical, but most of it is because of their footwork. Mayweather, Bivol, and Crawford all had and have better footwork than Canelo Alvarez. But when it comes to the offensive firepower, that's a technical aspect to it, and Canelo's very good. If we take out the footwork out of this conversation, Canelo's a technician as well. Armando Rosado, weight has been an issue. Weight has been the main topic of conversation, pretty much. When it comes to the people that are saying Canelo is going to win, it's been about weight and power. That's been the main topic of conversation. Ken G, you believe in Jesus? Ken G, come on. This is a boxing channel. This is not where you ask that question, my brother. Come on now. Whether I believe it or not, we're not gonna be doing no preaching up in here. I tell you that. Mr. Ko, honestly, please just go have to see it, believe it. Yeah, people just gonna have to believe it to see it, my brother. They gonna have to see it. I see a whole lot of shit about Bivol before he fought Canelo until he fought Canelo. Come on, bro. The same people that saying Canelo is gonna knock Crawford out also said that Canelo was gonna knock Bivol out. Y'all didn't learn? Y'all didn't learn back then? It's like no matter how easily Canelo get made to look, they think he's gonna win every fight the same way. I don't know, man. You should have learned that he got his ass whooped twice already. Can't be beat. Raw dog, yeah. Nobody picked Bivol. Yeah, nobody picked Bivol. Yeah, most people have Bivol getting knocked out. Knocked out. Come on now. Oh yeah, look. Another Raw dog, they call him Euro bum. Another bum, Canelo with another cherry pick. He was supposed to be another cherry pick. Bivol was supposedly a cherry pick gone wrong, my peoples. That's what he was. Superman. I picked him, and I don't know him from anywhere. Carlos Perez, buenos días. Buen día, hermanito mío. Bam, Dominican Republic in the building. Ozzy, can't wait for the morning after. I'm telling you, my people, September 14th, September 14th is going to be the same way as September. What was, hold on. I'm going to look for the date so I could tell you what September 14th is going to look like. I'm going to look for the date. Because September 14th, a lot of people are going to be missing in action. A lot of people who were sure who was going to win are going to be missing in action. So I'm going to tell you how simple this is, my peoples. So you know what September 14th is going to feel like. September 14th is going to feel like July 30th. You know what was on July 30th, 2023? The day after Canelo whooped Errol Spence. Remember the day after Canelo whooped Errol Spence? How Errol Spence fans was nowhere to be found? September 14th, I got a feeling Canelo fans are going to be nowhere to be found too. We're going to be looking for them. We're going to be looking for them. Mr. KO, Bivol style is unique. Floyd style is unique. And so is Crawford. No one can emulate either of these styles. Bivol style is unique. Floyd style is unique. And Crawford is unique. I mean, I wouldn't say that because the style is unique, you're guaranteed a victory, right? My bad. I must have been talking about Crawford. But listen, having a unique style doesn't guarantee a victory. Because at the end of the day, it's about who has the better fight on that night. But I do feel like, regardless of the style, Crawford is the better boxer. JJ's in there. Xander Sayas versus Jorge Garcia. Vargas versus Espinosa. Bruce Shushu Carrington versus Mateus. Damn, yo. That's some good fights. I want to see Xander. I want to see Vargas. And I want to see Shushu. That's some good fights. K-Man, Zayas needs a name on his resume to show he has arrived. What do you think about Keith Thurman fight for him? To be honest, I like that fight, but I think Xander Sayas is ready for the big leagues. I think he is ready for a title shot right now. I mean, think about this. Xander Sayas was Sebastian Fundora's mandatory, and Fundora opted to vacate the title as opposed to fight him and defend it. I think that says a lot about Xander right there. Think about it. Nastya, hello from Russia. Ooh, Russia's in the building, my peoples. Bam. Nastya, appreciate you dropping in. No, Nastya, appreciate you dropping in. Ozzy, Bivol, Usyk both throw punches and get out of the way immediately after they punch. Carlos Perez, who do you think will win between Tank and Shakur? Shakur's going to outbox him. Might even make it look easy. Raw Dog, who do you predict the outcome between Zayas and Perez? Zayas. Right now, man, Xander Sayas is somebody who I see as a very special talent, special fighter. He's not losing anytime soon. Mr. KO against Mexican style, yes, it's unique. They never seen anything like it and can't adjust to any of those styles perfected at their highest. Crawford has one of them type of styles Canelo can't adjust to. Canelo is only built and trained to do few things: pressure, power punching, cut the ring off, and skip. Never trained for any of these. I gotta disagree with you, Mr. KO. Canelo Alvarez trained with a lot of boxers to prepare for fights. Matter of fact, he's training with Jerome Boots Ennis. He brought him onto the camp. So he's fighting Crawford, and he brought in a guy who can fight southpaw, who can fight orthodox, who can switch in the blink of an eye to try to simulate what Crawford does. So one thing that Canelo has been able to do throughout his career, because he got a lot of money, is that he can pay guys who fight similar to that opponent that he's about to face. He's done that throughout his career. If he's gonna fight a smaller guy with great footwork, you're gonna see some good fighters with great footwork in his camp. Fighting a tall guy, I guarantee you, if you look at the William Skull camp, he had a couple of tall ass guys that was sparring with him to simulate what William Skull bring to the table. Latik, he fighting for titles Sunday, Sires. Yeah, but it's a vacant title. You know, I mean, he's gonna become a world champion. But I wish that he would have fought Fundora for that title. As opposed to Fundora vacating and he having to fight for that. You know, I never look. To me, the topic of being a vacant champ, winning a vacant title, it's a little bit iffy. I honestly, you know, when somebody wins a vacant title, I don't consider them a full champion yet. Because it's like you didn't beat a champion. So to me, if you just won the vacant title, you need to do a little bit more for me to say, yeah, you the guy. Now, if you won a real title and then you won another vacant title, cool, because you already won you beat a champion. Or if you win a vacant title, but later on you fight a champion and you beat him, cool, because you've already beaten a champion. But if your first title shot is a vacant title, to me that's a little bit diminished because you still haven't beat a champion. You have a title, but you don't have a champion under your resume. Raw Dog, Canelo has sparred all styles. No, that's what I said, Raw Dog. The one thing Canelo, because he got a lot of money, he's been able to get people who fight a similar style to the opponent he's about to face. And he's done that consistently. And obviously it's worked. You know, it's worked out for him because obviously he's had a great career, beat a bunch of champions, worked out for the best. And like I said, for this fight, for this camp, he brought Jerome Boost Ennis to simulate what Terrence Crawford is able to do as far as southpaw orthodox and giving him those angles, using that footwork on him. Raw Dog, beating somebody for a vacant title is better than an email belt. Oh, no, I agree with you. But not necessarily. And I'm going to tell you why, Raw Dog. Sometimes you might fight a guy who it should have been a title eliminator, a guy who earned that title eliminator, and he's good, and you was in a dogfight, so you won the title in a dogfight. That's a dogfight that you was involved in. Or think about it. You could be also in a fighting for a vacant strap, but you could be fighting a nobody. You could be fighting somebody who was an easy win for you and you knocked them out early and all that. So I would say when it comes to, beating somebody for a vacant title, yes. Getting a vacant title, at least you got a title. But my brother, an email belt, we tend to think that it means you didn't fight nobody. An email belt, it doesn't mean that you didn't fight nobody. It means that you fought a title eliminator, you won, and then whoever had the title bitched out, so they emailed it to you. Doesn't mean that you didn't beat nobody, though. So the guy that I beat for my email title may actually be better than the guy that you beat for your vacant title. But at the end of the day, neither one of us beat a champion. So that's why to me, when a champion has only won a vacant title, it's a little bit diminished because you ain't beat no champions. Your resume is not going to be the same as someone who beat a reigning champion to grab that belt. It's never going to be the same as that. Last warning, Jay Smith, man, I just don't see how Crawford can beat Canelo. You don't see, my brother, how Crawford can beat Canelo because you don't want to see it. If you don't want to see something, you're not going to see it. Because look, let me show you. And I was talking about this earlier, last warning, right? When you want to believe a narrative, That's so powerful that is stronger than what your own eyes tell you. Think about it. Believing something is stronger than what your eyes tell you. We saw Terrence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez go face to face with each other 5, 6 times during the press conferences. And yet people still talking about Canelo's too big. Now, if you watch these two guys standing right in front of each other, how exactly can you say that Canelo's too big for Crawford? How can someone who saw this image, someone who saw this video, still tell you, nah, yo, Canelo's too big, Canelo's too big. I can't see Crawford handling that giant. Crawford is too little and Canelo is too big. But there you have it, my brother. You can't see Crawford beating Canelo because you don't want to see it. Look, you want to see that Canelo is too big when he's not. He's not too big. Look, look, look. You can actually tell in that picture that Canelo is a little bit shorter than Crawford. So for the next face-off, he put on platform shoes so that he could be the same height. But that's them right there, my peoples. That is Terrence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez. Even after we watched them go face to face with each other, that narrative about Canelo being too big still persists. So when somebody tell me, yo, Canelo's too big, man, Canelo's just way too big, I say, okay, explain to me in this picture. What do you mean too big? Explain it to me right here, like, I don't know, in a way so that I can understand it. Explain it to me in layman's terms. LP Phipps, Crawford also has the reach advantage, I believe. My brother, Crawford has a huge reach advantage on Canelo. I'm talking about, look at it like this. Dimitri Bivol is taller than both of them. And he had a long-ass reach on Canelo, that's how he boxed him from outside. Crawford has a longer reach than Dimitri Bivol. He gonna be punching Canelo in the face from across the ring, y'all. More reach than Bivol. Raw dog. Size ain't the difference. It will be pinpoint precision power. Raw dog, that's the problem. You're saying that, but you've been right here every day. You see people every day talking about Canelo's too big. You see people every day talking about Canelo is too strong. You see it every day. You see it every day, my guy. Too big, too big. Golly, my peoples. After seeing this picture, you gotta have some huge balls to say that Canelo is too big for Terrence Crawford. Or you simply delusional and on denial. I honestly thought when they started doing the face-off, the size narrative was gonna disappear. I thought everybody who kept clinging on to size, they were gonna find a different talking point, a different argument to make. But y'all for real? Y'all for real trying to say that Canelo's too big? Even when you see this image, even when you see them facing each other? Come on, man. This shouldn't even, size should never even be a conversation after we all saw this. Should not. Mr. KO, for Canelo, but not for Crawford. The ones who beat Canelo didn't need one-punch knockout power. No, the people who beat Canelo outboxed him. They all outboxed him. Canelo has been outboxed twice and made to look easy. Made to look easy. But people seem to forget that. They have that amnesia when it comes to Canelo getting his ass whooped twice. Raw dog. Buster use speed and footwork. Don't trade with Canelo. Cow. Should Crawford been fighting at 135, 140, and 15? I don't know exactly what you mean by that. Crawford is going to be fighting Canelo at 168. And Canelo used to fight at 147. And it's a very small 168 pounder. Canelo is a little guy. Why you guys think that Canelo's big? Look. Don't talk to me about weight classes. Canelo is little. Canelo is petite. Crawford will grab Canelo by both his arms and ragdoll him, lift him up, have his little feet dangling in the air. JJ's in the house. Good morning, John. The likes are up. Let's go for Jay Smith. I mean, look, I'm going to be honest, JJ's in the house. The likes, they not that up. You know why the likes ain't not that up, my brother? I've been on here for 2 hours, bro. Over 2 hours. So 30 likes in 2 hours? My God, I'm getting brutalized. I'm getting shredded out here. I'm getting pummeled. But I'm fighting back, bro. I'm hanging in there. JJ's in the house. Good morning, John. Yeah. So again, my peoples, look. Somebody should be embarrassed of saying that Canelo is too big for Terrence Crawford. That's embarrassing. Where? Show me in this picture what exactly makes you feel like he's too big. We're looking at them. Show me. Last warning. I don't think Canelo too big. I don't think Crawford has the power to stop Canelo pressure. So last warning, did you think Bivol had the power to stop Canelo's pressure? You thought Floyd Mayweather had the power to stop Canelo pressure? Two guys that have less power than Crawford, less knockout percentage than Crawford, two guys that were not known for power punching, they had the power to stop Canelo's pressure? So last warning, I think you deleted that message because you might have answered your own question. You don't need power to stop pressure. You need boxing skills. Maybe that's why you deleted that comment. You realized that it wasn't going to work out because it was two non-power punches that did Canelo in and made it look easy. So the notion that you need power to stop pressure is just false, erroneous, and casual, to say the least. LP Phipps, but is stronger than people think. Oh yeah, he way stronger. The wrestling background facts. Bud would ragdoll Canelo. He's stronger than Canelo. He's actually stronger than Canelo. Boxing on paper. Anyone know why Jalolov ain't fighting this weekend? I looked yesterday when I was talking to Mr. KO. Now I look and the bout ain't there on BoxRec. Mr. KO, damn. Boxing on paper. Either someone got injured leading up to the fight or pulled out. Look, it could be somebody got injured. It could be somebody pulled out. It could be somebody popped dirty. That could happen too. Farming, Crawford. I agree with you, Farming. Crawford is going to put the beats on Canelo Alvarez. But again, to my peoples in the building saying that Canelo Alvarez is too big, show me, my peoples. That's right there. Canelo Alvarez, Terrence Crawford, face to face. Show me what exactly you think about Canelo being too big. Help me explain it, my people, so I can rock with you. Last warning. Yeah, you're right, Jay Smith. Skill always pay the bills. That's what I try to tell people. Skills pay the bills. If you look at boxer punchers, when they faced each other, the boxers won most of those fights. Look at Muhammad Ali, George Foreman. The boxer won. Look at Sugar Ray Leonard, Marvelous Marvin Hagler, Leonard, the boxer won. If you look at boxer punchers facing each other, most of the time, the boxer's going to win. That's why I'm telling you that Shakur Stevenson's also going to whoop Tank Davis' ass Tank Davis might duck him for the rest of his career, but if they do fight, Shakur's going to whoop him. Marty Mack, Bud went 12 round with a 10-0 fighter. Diabolical, how y'all think? Marty Mack, when you say that, the only thing that I really read from that is that you never competed and never boxed a day in your life. So you formulated an opinion thinking that it's a good one and it's actually a bad one. Like you watch Vasyl Lomachenko win a title in his second fight. You should have learned about that. You didn't learn about that? You didn't learn that number of fights don't tell you the experience or skills of a fighter? Because unfortunately, I hate to be the one to tell you, you don't know shit about boxing, my brother. And when you don't know shit about boxing, you formulate opinions that in your head sound good, but they're not. They're not good. Marty Mack, Madrimov didn't think he was all that. He said he punched like any other welter. Okay? Bivol didn't think Canelo was all that. And Bivol thinks that Crawford is a better fighter. And what do you think about that? Canelo got made to look easy by 2 fighters. Got made to look easy. And you're arguing about a guy that Crawford beat? Come on, Marty Mack. This is a talking point that is too easy for me to cook you, bro. Like, I will cook you with that talking point too easily. You're bringing up a guy that Terence Crawford beat, and I'm bringing up a guy that made it look easy against Canelo. What you want to do? Is that really the avenue that you want to take? A guy that Crawford beat versus a guy that beat the shit out of Canelo and made it look easy? Make Canelo look like a B-level fighter? Come on, Marty Mack. Don't do it to yourself. Canelo Crush. Jay Smith and concerned about the clean shots Madrimov landed on Crawford. Remember, Crawford has been shaken. Gamboa, fuck Canelo. Not even a Canelo fan. But I do bet. Not sure who to bet on. I mean, think about it, Canelo Crush. I want you to really think about that. Terence Crawford has 41 fights. And you're bringing up that he got buzzed by Gamboa over 10 years ago. That was over 10 years ago, my guy. Do you realize that when he was going to fight Errol Spence, people brought Gamboa up too? You sound like the people who said, I want you to think about that, my G. I want you to consider that, my brother. You sound like the people who said, well, take a look at what little Gamboa did to Crawford. If little Gamboa hurt Crawford, you imagine what Errol Spence is going to do to him? Oh, my God. Errol Spence is going to kill him. And how did that play out for Errol? Did it help Errol Spence that Gamboa hurt Crawford? It did not. It didn't. But you didn't learn about that. So now, you're still bringing up Madrimov. That was more than 10 years. You're still bringing up this guy that was more than 10 years ago, Gamboa. Bro, that's embarrassing when people bring... Like, Crawford has 42 wins. And he been buzzed twice in 42 or 41 wins. That means he got a great chin. When you bring up Gamboa to say he got buzzed, that means he got a great chin. That was 10 years ago. Trying to diminish Crawford and trying to make it look like he got a soft chin actually says that he got an iron chin. 42 fights. Buzzed twice? My goodness. That's why people need box centers, so I can help you, so I can educate you, so I can explain to you that bringing up Gamboa from over 10 years ago only says Crawford has an iron chin. That's what that says about Crawford. Canelo Crush. Jay Smith just concerned about the clean shots Madrimov landed on Crawford. Canelo Crush, what you need to be concerned about is that Crawford is not going to fight the same style that he fought against Madrimov. You saw Terence Crawford fight a different style versus Errol Spence than what he fought Madrimov. What you really need to be concerned is how Canelo's going to handle that reach when he got beat up and made to look easy by Dimitri Bivol. How are you going to handle Crawford reach if Crawford got longer arms? That's what you need to be worried about. That's what you need to be concerned about. That beating that he took from somebody who got shorter arms than Terence Crawford. LP Phipps, the King of New York, went 12 with Canelo. Damn, man, the King of New York. The King of New York went down sad, bro. The King of New York. Listen, man. Berlanga did it to himself. As far as all the trolling and all the memes that's out there and people laughing at him, he did it to himself, bro. And he had the balls to say that he's still the King of New York after taking that ass whooping. T Council, who do you think will win, Haney and Norman? So I said Brian Norman was going to win that fight, even possibly by knockout. But lately, I've been thinking about it. I pulled back that prediction, Okay, I pulled it back. I know I predicted and John Parry, you know that I predicted that Brian Norman Jr. is going to knock Devin Haney out. 9th for the 10th round. But I'm pulling that prediction back, and I'm going to make a new prediction when they get closer to fight night. So that I could watch some of the training camp videos. I could see how the fighters look. I could see how things develop leading up to the fight. Because if Devin Haney's going to be the Devin Haney that's going to use that footwork 100%, like be all over the ring, and I'm going to clinch you when you close the gap. If it's that Devin Haney, he can win that fight. He's going to be hard to beat. Raw Dog, do you know Benavidez dropped Bivol? Yeah, but that was in a sparring session, so that doesn't really count. Supposedly with a jab. But that doesn't really count, You're not... People go at it in sparring sessions, but it's not the same as an actual fight. So I don't really give them credit for that. Oscar H., let me ask you this. Can Crawford go to light heavyweight and fight Bivol better? Canelo went up. What I mean, so I think that question is valid. If Crawford goes to light heavyweight, he might lose just like Canelo lost. He might lose just like Canelo lost. Because you're asking if he's going to look better than Canelo. I don't know if he's going to look better than Canelo, but Canelo didn't look good. He got completely dominated. Matter of fact, I'll tell you what. If Crawford goes up and fights Bivol, he will definitely look better than Canelo. Canelo got dominated. He didn't look good at all. At all. So Crawford would do better against Bivol than Canelo. For sure. Last warning. Jay Smith, take it easy on me. I'm still learning the game of boxing. Salute, last warning. Come on, man. You know we all trash talking in the building and all that, my brother. This is boxing. This is part of the beauty of the sweet science. It's all good, man. You know we all good. Junior, Terrence Crawford, beautiful win. Not easy work, but easy work. So look, I will say, and I said it before, this fight is going to be competitive. Both fighters are going to have their moments. But I feel like by the time they get to the championship rounds, Crawford is going to be doing Canelo just like Bivol and just like Floyd. He's going to be outboxing him. He's going to be doing whatever he want to do with him. And when that happens, Canelo fans are going to go hide with Arrow fans and with Shakur haters. They're all going to hide with each other. That's what happens. That's what happens when you've been saying this guy's going to make it look easy and he's going to knock him out. And then he get made to look easy. You already seen two people made it look easy against Canelo. But you didn't learn. You're going to find out. Crawford's going to teach you once again. Mr. KO, question. Canelo or Shiraz, who wins? Oof, that's a tough fight. That's a tough fight. Nah, I got Shiraz winning it. It's a tough fight, but I got Shiraz winning it. I got Canelo winning it. My bad. It's a tough fight, but I think Canelo is able to get within Shiraz's reach. Shiraz will. See, the thing is, Canelo's the fighter who sometimes needs opponents to cooperate with him, to stand there and bang with him. He has that. So I think Shiraz, he's not going to move around. He's not going to use footwork. He's going to stand there for Canelo to do what he does. So I got Canelo beating Shiraz. Moy Ahmad, Canelo never won against elite type of boxers. Lost against Floyd. Lost against Triple G. Bivol too. So Moy Ahmad, right there you express yourself just as a hater. So when you're a hater, whatever you say is not reliable. People can't really listen to you because you're going to have a hate-biased opinion. Canelo fought Triple G 3 times, beat him twice. And all you say is that Canelo did not beat him. You cannot inject your opinion as if it was a fact. I will respect your opinion more if you was to say, well, I felt like Canelo didn't beat Bivol. Like Canelo didn't beat Triple G. I will respect your opinion more. But I can't respect an opinion when you say Canelo lost to Triple G and we look at the box rec and he beat Triple G twice and fought to a draw. He never lost to Triple G. So when you take your opinion and you turn it into a fact, it starts to look like a casual fan hater opinion as opposed to a legitimate opinion when you're looking at information and formulating it based on the facts. Canelo beat Triple G. He didn't lose to him. Now, if you have the opinion, if you felt like he lost to Triple G, express that. Say it's my opinion that he lost to Triple G. Don't state your opinion as facts, because it's not. Marty Mack, how about beating Canelo? My God, I already said that a million times, but I'll tell you. I'm going to tell you in 1 minute. Look, I'm going to tell you in exactly 1 minute how Terence Crawford is going to beat Canelo. In 1 minute. Let me put the phone down so I could grab my timer. Look at my timer right here. I'm going to play it for you. Marty Mack wants to know, how is Terence Crawford going to beat Canelo? Look at my timer right here. In 1 minute. Look at my timer right here. In 1 minute, I'm about to tell you how Terence Crawford is going to beat Canelo. Look how easy this is for me. Terence Crawford has a huge reach advantage on Canelo Alvarez, like Dimitri Bivol. Dimitri Bivol was able to use the jab, use his length to keep Canelo on the outside. This is the reason why Canelo was not effective to the body, because he was kept on the outside. When he tried to close the gap, he ate a lot of punches from Dimitri Bivol, who's able to attack him from outside of his own punching range. Terence Crawford has longer reach than Dimitri Bivol. He'll be able to use his range and land punches, especially that jab, consistently on Canelo, while Canelo is outside of his own range. Canelo's going to eat a lot of punches trying to get on the inside, and he's going to eat a lot of power. Not only that, Terence Crawford has the better footwork out of the two fighters. So Terence Crawford will be able to dictate when we engage, when we're in close range, and when I move my footwork and box you. Terence Crawford is going to outbox Canelo Alvarez to a unanimous decision. There you go, my guy. In exactly 1 minute, I explained to you how Terence Crawford is going to beat Canelo Alvarez. Now, if you need more details, I'll give you more details. Terence Crawford, first of all, the first 2 or 3 rounds is going to be in Terence Crawford's favor. Easy in Terence Crawford's favor. You know why? Because Canelo's going to have to adapt to that reach. So while you're thinking that Crawford is going to have to adapt to the power and he's not going to be able to handle the power, you're completely ignoring the fact that Canelo's going to have to adapt to the reach. The same type of fighter who has better footwork and put hands on him, Dimitri Bivol, said he feels like Crawford is the better fighter. And Crawford has longer reach than Canelo. So when Dimitri Bivol outboxed you with them long arms, and Terence Crawford has longer arms than Dimitri Bivol, I don't know what to tell you, my peoples. All I say is grab a calculator and go 2 + 2, and it's gonna give you 4, no matter how many times you do it. That's all I gotta tell you. Jay Petty, you're really underestimating Canelo. Jay Petty, I'm not underestimating Canelo at all. I accept Canelo as a world champion, as a great fighter, as a pound-for-pound fighter, as an all-time great, as one of the best who ever been produced out of Mexico. You're underestimating Terence Crawford. You're underestimating Terence Crawford's reach and footwork, even though you saw what reach and footwork did for Dimitri Bivol against Canelo Alvarez. Not underestimating Canelo. I know exactly what he's able to do. You're underestimating what Crawford's able to do, even though you've seen other people do it on Canelo. I'm not underestimating. You are, my guy. Jay Petty, you really are underestimating Canelo and overrating Bud. Not saying Bud's not good. Okay, since you're saying I'm underestimating Canelo, what exactly did I say to you or in this chat that suggests I'm underestimating Canelo? I call Canelo an all-time great, one of the best to come out of Mexico, a pound-for-pound fighter, one of the best of this era. What exactly have I said to you that suggests that I underestimate Canelo, Jay Petty, or to anybody? Because I know I don't underestimate Canelo. But you tell me, how exactly am I underestimating him? Jay Petty, what reach? Never seen Bud beat nobody from the outside. That's not his style of fighting. He takes a lot of punches. Hold on. Hold on one second. So you're telling me, Jay Petty, first of all, Jay Petty, the problem with everything that you're saying is that I know you never boxed a day in your life. So you're trying to act like an analyst. You're trying to be an analyst, but the problem with trying to be an analyst is that you're talking to an actual analyst. You're talking to somebody that boxed. So you're trying to come up with your own analyst stuff. Like, oh, I'm an analyst and I can come up with these logics. Look at the fight between Terence Crawford and Madrimov. And look at the fight between Terence Crawford and Errol Spence. Do you think that he fought the same way in both of those fights? So while you try to close Crawford up in one style of boxing and say that he can't fight like this or can't fight like that, look at those two fights and tell me that he fought the same in both of them. So stop it. Stop it. Nobody said Crawford is going to be running from Canelo. I said Crawford is going to impose that jab in his face all night long. He's going to keep him, he's going to be able to dictate the pace when he goes in and when he goes out. Because you know what happens when you don't know shit about boxing? You don't see a fighter using his advantage because you don't see it. You don't know about boxing. You just see punches hitting, people hitting each other. You don't understand how effectively Terence Crawford used his reach advantage on Errol Spence. You don't understand how effectively he used that jab to disrupt everything that Errol Spence does. You don't understand that Crawford's reach is the reason why Errol Spence wasn't put together a consistent attack to the body. You don't understand that because you don't know shit about boxing. So you come up with these analyses that you think make you sound knowledgeable, and all you do is exposing yourself like somebody who never boxed a day in their life, bro. That's all you do. Hallway 91. Munguia landed 170 punches on Canelo. When the last time someone landed that many on Crawford? Like I told you, when you're a hater of a fighter, you start formulating your own things out of your head that you think make sense, but you don't know shit about boxing. When you give what you formulated to somebody that does know boxing, they're gonna cook that shit with ease. They're gonna laugh at that shit. They're gonna laugh at that shit. Crawford has a longer reach than Dimitri Bivol, and you're gonna sit here and try to tell me that he's not gonna use that's not his style, and that he gets hit a lot. Come on, bro. You gotta do better than that. Hallway 21. We all know Canelo has a chin, but this narrative that Buzz get hit a lot, it's a reach. It's not just that. It's not just the narrative that Bud gets hit a lot. Yo, Canelo's been in fights that he got hit a lot too. That's the funny thing about it. Like, people will say that Bud get hit a lot, almost like they forgot Canelo got beat twice and Crawford is undefeated. Like, what are we really talking about? A fighter who been beat twice, and you talking about the other guy gets hit a lot. Come on, man. Come on, man. Jay Petty, he's a fighter that knows how to box. He wants to fight. Can't wait till fight night. Talking about Spence's name when he ever did. What he ever did again or before. I mean, Jay Petty, you can ask that question now. But I'm pretty sure you was one of the guys that was saying Errol Spence was going to beat Crawford, was going to knock him out. He was too big. Crawford is too little. Now Crawford beat the shit out of Errol, and that's what you ask. But what he did before and what he did again, you taking the hater route. You're taking the hater route. Look, man, that's what haters, hold on, because, you know, you're a Crawford hater. That's what haters do. Let me explain to you what haters do. Haters diminish opponents. Instead of giving credit, that's what haters do. Errol Spence was a 3-belt unified champion, and you asking me what he did before Crawford? Come on, man. I can't have people like that with a wrench. How am I have somebody like that with a wrench up in here talking that goofy shit? You asking what Errol Spence did before fighting Crawford? A 3-belt unified champion? A pound-for-pound fighter? Be for real, bro. Be for real. Let's be for real. Hey, Gordo, skill for skill, Crawford is a whole problem for Canelo. Lonnie Poindexter, I say Canelo got beat 4 or 5 times. Yeah, but you see, I like the way you phrased it, Lonnie Poindexter, and I can respect it. You're saying I say Canelo got beat 4 or 5 times. So there's a few fights that you saw him win, but the judges gave it to him. I respect that. I just don't like it when people say, nah, because he lost to this guy and he lost to this guy, and it's fights that he won. You know, like he beat Lara. Now, if you say, I feel like Lara beat him, I respect that. Because I saw that fight, and it was a very close fight, and it could have honestly gone either way. And a lot of people see Lara beat him. But if you say it as a fact, Lara beat him, that is not a fact. It's going to be easy to pull up the box rec and show that you're not spitting facts. Ray Gordo, skill for skill, Crawford is a whole problem. I'm telling you, my peoples. I'm telling you. If you expressing some hater point of view and you got a wrench, I'm going to have that wrench back, my peoples, because that hater stuff, I can't be having haters representing and you on some hater shit. Jay Petty, see you don't know what you talking about. Styles make fights. Never pick EJ to be Bud. You're going to learn, though. Now, you're going to learn why you don't deserve a wrench when Canelo get whooped and you realize that you don't know what you was talking about. JJ Cedejas, I need double wrench. Yo, I'm telling you, man. Some people, like I've been taking off wrenches. Y'all just don't notice it because I gave out a lot. But I've been taking away wrenches. Too many people don't need them. Jay Petty, never diminish Bud. Come on, man. Come on, man. You spread the Bud hater narrative. And then after you spread the Bud hater narrative, you come back with the, nah, but I'm a Bud fan. We see in the classic Terrence Crawford haters every day up in here. In the classic Shakur Stevenson haters every day up in here. You argue the same talking points as the haters, and then you say, no, but I'm a fan. Mr. KO, I'm a Bud fan. You see it? You see how you saying that about James Hicks? Look at this one now. I'm a Bud fan. Everybody's a fan when they get exposed as a hater. You spread all of the hater point of view, but you're a fan. Come on, bro. Marty Mack, skill or skill, maybe, but not size for size or power for power. Canelo would have KO'd Madrimov at 54. Also, when Canelo moved up to fight weak champion, he KO'd them. Again, Marty Mack, I've been trying to explain it to you. If you didn't understand it, I explain it again. Canelo was beat by 2 fighters who didn't need power. Power does not dictate outcome of fights. Skills dictate the outcome. And you're sitting here saying, yeah, skills for skills. Yeah, he got more. But size and power, Canelo got more. I'm sorry to disappoint you and help you understand that skills beat power 99% of the time, bro. Skills beat power all the time. The examples of skills beating power are endless. Endless. Then once in a while, power, boom, lands a big one and wins. Skills beat power. Learn that, my peoples. You riding on power and riding on size, even though you saw Terrence Crawford and Canelo. Look. The fact that some people are still clinging to size is crazy. The fact that I could show you this image and you could still tell me that Canelo is too big, it shows you that a narrative will make people delusional. You will be delusional over a narrative. Your own eyes tell you that Canelo's not too big. You will still argue that shit. Look. You know how ridiculous it look when people argue size? Like, we still argue in size? Look at them, bro. That's them right there. That's them. Jay Petty, you also underestimating Canelo's skills. You really are. How I'm underestimating Canelo's skills? How can I call him a pound-for-pound fighter, one of the best of this era, one of the best Mexican fighters ever, but I'm underestimating his skill? You got to stop, my brother, Jay Petty. In order for you to feed your narrative, you got to stop trying to go into people's minds and tell people what they think. What are you doing, bro? Stop going into making up stuff out of thin air, because that's what feeds your narrative. I've never said anything negative about Canelo's skills. You just can't handle that somebody's telling you that Crawford is better than him. And you go into these crazy arguments. I've never said anything. I got Canelo as a pound for pound fighter. How the hell can you underestimate a guy that you saying is an all-time great? Come on, bro. How can I be underestimating somebody I see as an all-time great? Somebody I see as one of the best of this era. Somebody I see as a pound for pound fighter. But I'm underestimating him. That doesn't add up, my guy. You got to stop trying to go into people's head and tell them what they thinking. That's wicked. That is nasty work, bro. Don't do that. Not only in boxing, in life. In life. When people do that, you're the type of person who tell people what they thinking and what they're going to do if this happens, and they're going to do it. Stop telling people what they're thinking, my brother. Share what you're thinking, and then let them tell you what they're thinking. You stop telling people what they're thinking. That's a bad look, because you make yourself look like a hater. You want to inject what you want people to think. Marty Mack, sound like y'all riding on a 147 scale versus a 168 scale and power. Haha. That's the thing, Marty Mack. When you don't know shit about boxing, you make up stuff that doesn't make sense. Crawford is a reigning champion at 154, but you calling him a 147 pounder because you don't know shit about boxing. Then Crawford has the better footwork than Canelo Alvarez. Nobody will ever even dispute that. But then again, you give the edge and skill to Canelo Alvarez. Or you say power, skill and power. You're giving some type of edge and skill to Canelo. Because again, when you don't know shit about boxing, you come up with logics that in your head, they sound good, but they're actually really bad. You know, like you watch Dimitri Bivol outbox Canelo, made it look easy. You watch 147-pound Floyd Mayweather, catch him at 152 and make it look super easy. So you watch Canelo look super easy at 152, and you watch Canelo look super easy at 175. What else do you need to see to know that Canelo was made to look easy, or so that you don't have amnesia? I don't know. I don't know. One of these days, I'm going to give you classes so you can learn boxing and better interpret what you're seeing on TV. Jay Petty, you think because they say that they say the same height or inch, they give Bud some kind of advantage? Why? For some reason, you're trying to make it seem like somebody's hating on Bud and don't agree with your narrative. Okay, so you're asking if a reach gives some kind of advantage. So that's why, Jay Petty, sometimes you say things that tell me that you don't know about boxing. You know, you never boxed a day in your life, right? So because you never boxed a day in your life, you make bad arguments and you think they're good ones. So you don't think that reach is an advantage. Did you watch Hamza Shiraz versus Edgar Berlanga? Did you watch that fight? Because if you watched it, you're going to notice that Edgar Berlanga got beat up really badly, and Hamza Shiraz used the reach to punch him outside of his own punching range. So while Hamza Shiraz was getting beat up in the head, he couldn't reach. Berlanga couldn't reach Shiraz because he has a shorter reach. So my guy, Jay Petty, I shouldn't even have to tell you that reach is an advantage. You never heard the phrase height and reach advantages? You never heard that phrase, my brother? Come on now. I'm here to teach you, but I shouldn't have to teach you some things. Some you should just know on your own without me even having to tell you. So if I haven't told you enough, as a fighter, I can tell you, I've been in there with taller opponents, and a reach advantage can disrupt what you're able to do. Because a reach advantage means that they can punch you when you cannot punch them. I'm going to make it easy for you. 2 plus 2 is 4. A reach advantage means that when they punch you, you cannot punch them. You have to go inside of their punching range so that you can hit. That is why Canelo got made to look easy. Because while he was trying to find the punching range to hit Dimitri Bivol was punching the chalupas out of him. So if you don't know what punching range does for a fighter, then I don't know what to tell you. But J. Patty, look what you said. I love to go back and forth in these type of conversations because I prove a point in these type of conversations. J. Patty, you're a good person to prove a point with. Look what you're saying. Look what J. Petty said, my people. You're delusional as hell if you think only Canelo has is puncher's chance if we're going by everything you're saying. Look how easy it is, my people, for an analyst to smoke a casual boxing fan who never boxed a day in their life and don't know shit about boxing. At no point in time in this fight, in this back and forth, have I ever said that Canelo got only a puncher's chance. So in order to put together a good paragraph, he actually put words in my mouth. He literally said, you only think Canelo got a puncher's chance. You're delusional. But I never said that Canelo got a puncher's chance. I've been live right now for over 2 hours. I never said those words. So he put words in my mouth to use the words that he put in my mouth to call me delusional. Now, Jay Petty, I'm not delusional because I never said that. You're trying to put words in my mouth and then arguing with the words that you put in my mouth. So what you say about me, that's inaccurate. Now, what I say about you, you never told me that you never boxed a day in your life. But I know you never boxed a day in your life, just by your words. So you see the difference between an analyst and somebody who don't know shit about boxing, who just watched it on social media and TV. You go up in here giving logic, trying to be a specialist, an analyst, or whatever you think you are, and then you get embarrassed because you have no good talking points. You cannot go against me in these debates. You're going to get cooked. It's like if you think you watch a lot of movies of pilots flying planes. You're never going to be able to fly a plane just because you watched it on TV. You're never going to have a better opinion than a pilot because you watch movies about planes. So just because you watch boxing on TV doesn't mean that you're an expert and you're going to be able to formulate a better opinion than a guy who boxes as an amateur, boxes as a professional, and is around professional fighters, trainers, and promoters. You can try to formulate an opinion and go back and forth with me, but you're going to get cooked every time. 100% cooked rate. You never jump in this channel and watch somebody cooking me. And it's just not going to happen. I know that when you watch a lot of boxing on TV, you start feeling like you're real knowledgeable. You start feeling like you're an expert. But no, Jay Petty, you don't know shit about boxing. You never boxed a day in your life. And every example that you come up with is from the point of view of somebody who never boxed a day in their life. So I understand you think you're making sense. You're not. You're just telling me that you don't know shit about boxing. Marty Mack, you probably had Charlo beating Canelo too. No, I had Canelo beating Charlo. Sorry. And I also had Canelo, well, I said it earlier. I had Crawford whooping, absolutely whooping Errol Spence. I had Crawford knocking out Errol in 8 or 9 rounds. And people was laughing at me. People was mocking me. Where are all the people who said that Errol Spence was going to knock Crawford out? Where they at? Jay Petty, one of them. Jay Petty thought it was going to go down like that. And look, Marty Mack, Lonnie Poindexter, it don't matter if you haven't seen him at 168 yet. But it's a beast. I mean, we haven't seen him at 168, but we seen Canelo get his ass whooped at 152. That we seen for sure. we seen that for sure. So you can't take that back. Jay Petty, you make sure you're there on fight night. I make sure I'm there. I make sure you're there on September 14th. You make sure you're here on September 14th. Make sure you're there on September 14th. And you're saying, so you can humble yourself like a real man supposed to. I don't know what you mean by humble myself. Humble myself from what? Humble myself from what? I need to humble you and help you understand that you don't know shit about boxing. I need to help you understand that watching boxing on TV and social media when you never laced on a pair of gloves doesn't make you an expert, J. Petty. I need you to understand that. I'm never going to claim to be a psychic. Nobody's going to predict 100%. Nobody in history will, I hope, nobody's going to show here, yeah, I got 100% prediction rate. It's impossible. It's impossible to predict every fight accurately. But as an expert, you're able to make an educated opinion. You're able to formulate an educated opinion based on specific information. Jay Petty, you formulate fanboy opinion based on who you like and who you don't like. There's a difference between your opinion and mine. There's a difference between formulating an opinion because you watch a lot of TV and a lot of social media and formulating an opinion because you've been in the ring. You punch people. You have dropped people. People have dropped you. Your opinion and mine come from a different point of view, son. You have to understand that. It's like you want to go back and forth with me to maybe prove your knowledge, but compared to me, you have no knowledge. You have TV and social media knowledge. That's not real knowledge. You're not as knowledgeable as you think you are. And I'm the guy who's ready to tell you to your face. I've had people tell me, you know what, Jay? Because you telling me this, I'm going to subscribe to your channel, B. You're a real ass nigga. I had people tell me I'm a real nigga, and they subscribe to the channel, even though I told them they don't know shit about boxing. So, what I need you to understand, Jay Petty, when Floyd Mayweather's uncle said, most people don't know shit about boxing, he was talking about you, bro. He was talking about boxing fans who never been involved in boxing in any capacity and start formulating these crazy talking points. Look at Crawford Madrimov, and he won all these rounds with Madrimov, and look at this other shit, like shit that don't even make no sense to people who actually know the sport of boxing. People who actually know the sport of boxing knows that Crawford and Madrimov have absolutely nothing to do with what's gonna happen in this next fight. But if you don't know shit about boxing, you're gonna bring up Madrimov, and you need somebody like me to come on and tell you, no, my brother, what happened is that you don't know shit about boxing, so that's why you're bringing up Madrimov. That's the only reason. If you knew boxing, you wouldn't bring that up. Jay Petty, now you putting dirt on my name. Damn, putting dirt on your name. You taking it far, bro. Come on, don't start acting like a sucker on here. Just face it, bro. You don't know everything. You think you know. I didn't say I know everything. I just say you don't know shit about boxing and I do. You see, Jay Petty, you see, if you can't handle honesty, then you're gonna get mad at me if you can't handle honesty. But boxing is the only sport, like I said before, where you never box a day in your life and you think that you can debate with somebody that did box. Jay Petty, I got the credentials to tell you that you don't know shit about boxing. What are your credentials for your opinion against mine? I need you to understand, Jay Petty, when I talk, people in boxing listen to me. They're interested in what I got to say for a reason. So when you, who never boxed a day in your life, who never been involved in boxing, try to formulate an opinion to contradict mine, I'm sorry, my brother, but your opinion is going to be shit compared to mine. You're going to get cooked every single time. Watching boxing on TV did not make you as knowledgeable as you thought it did. You don't know boxing. Look, you say you seen Crawford get wobbled. So I don't know boxing because you seen him. Crawford got wobbled 10 years ago. And after he got wobbled 10 years ago, he still knocked out Errol Spence. You seen him you bringing up a fighter getting wobbled 10 years ago is what shows you that you don't know shit about boxing. That's the reason why you out here getting cooked. Yo, chat, let the man know that he getting cooked. He out here embarrassing himself. That's what happened when you, listen. There's nothing wrong with debating boxing. This makes it fun. Debate boxing, my people, makes it fun. But when you start trying to be an expert and you just some dude watching boxing on your phone, playing expert, you're going to get cooked every time you step up with me, brother. You've been getting cooked. You're not seeing it. Go back, read the comments and watch you getting cooked. Like, come on, Jay Petty. You out here getting cooked, really. Literally getting cooked. And like, it's like you want to fight back. You want to fight back. You don't want to give up. But you out here getting cooked, man. Carlos Perez, let's make some money on FanDuel. Nah. Listen, if people want to bet, do ya. Because I don't want nobody making bets and hollering at me about some bet that they made. I don't want to hear it. That's my perspective. But if you want to bet, I'm going to be honest. I'm placing myself a little bet. I'm going to place a little sign on Crawford. You know, he's going to be the underdog. I want to flip my money a little bit. But I don't suggest to anybody to bet. Nobody know anybody's situation. I don't want nobody betting the house and then being homeless because they wanted to make a bet. Ray Gordo, Jay Petty just fall back. Yeah, man. I already, like Jay Petty at this point, he got cooked, fish fillet, baked, microwaved. He's done. He could stick around and watch, but he's done. He already showed everybody in here that he doesn't know shit about boxing. Marty Mac, you keep forgetting Bud, Beat, Ricky, and Posto. I don't know what was the point of that. He beat those two fighters. Yeah, he beat them. I don't remember by name all of those guys that Bud beat a long time ago. Muscovich, all American fighters are hype jobs except Terrence Bud Crawford. I would say that's an exaggeration, my brother. I would say that's an exaggeration. No country has only hype jobs. There's great fighters in every country, and then there's horrible fighters in every country. Farming, you cooking, bro. Yo, listen, bro. It's too easy to cook when you got a casual fan like Jay Petty trying to argue with me. Like, what is this guy doing? What is this guy doing with this casual logic? Like, it's too easy. It's too easy, my brother. Like, cooking somebody who doesn't know shit about boxing is like taking candy from a baby. Carlos Perez, I'll cash out you some of my winnings. Harry, say hi. JJ's in their house. I have Crawford. Well, by the way, Carlos Perez, you're going to get winnings if you're going with Crawford. You won't be able to cash out because I don't have cash out, but you could drop in on the super chat. JJ's in their house. I have Crawford money down 1 month ago. Damn, you're already getting that ready to flip your money. Pancho Villa, Crawford was gifted a decision against Madrigal. How's Crawford going to beat Alvarez? You think that Crawford was gifted a decision? That's your opinion. I saw him winning the fight. Now Alvarez got his ass kicked, beat, made to look like a C-level fighter against Floyd and against Dimitri Bivol. Two people with longer reach than him. How is he going to beat a Bud Crawford who has a longer reach than Dimitri Bivol and better footwork than himself? That's the real question. You're talking about people that Crawford beat. I'm talking about people that whoop Canelo's ass. So one fighter's undefeated, never lost. Another fighter got beat twice. We know the blueprint to beat your ass. Take that into consideration. MS, I heard a well-known Dominican boxing content creator say Canelo will do to Bud what he did to Charlo, because Charlo had the best jab and was a 168-pounder. Because Charlo had, if I'm not mistaken, Charlo moved up to 168 and he fought to survive. But what I need you to understand, my brother, is that bringing up another fighter to say what's going to happen in this fight, it doesn't work that way. It never does. It never does. That's what you heard. I heard that Dimitri Bivol beat the shit out Canelo with his reach and made it look easy, and Crawford got longer reach. Make of that what you will. Ray Gordo, can't say all U.S. fighters are hype jobs. Nah, listen. No country has all hype jobs. Like, that's crazy work. Holloway 91. Pancho Villa, Canelo has gifted wins as well, sir. You're not saying anything. Marty Matt, but adding 25 pounds and boxers think because you're not the only boxer that picks him, think he turning into Ali with the jab with Loma footwork. Nobody think he's turning into Ali or Loma's footwork. He already has footwork. He already has better footwork than Canelo. Why he got to turn into something when he already is that? He already has the better footwork. He already has the longer reach. Now, if you don't know shit about boxing, it's safe for you to think, well, Crawford is not going to use his reach. One of the most accomplished fighters, one of the most elite level fighters, he's not going to use his reach. He didn't study tape of the people who beat Canelo. That's what happens when you don't know shit about boxing, my peoples. Instead of formulating an opinion, listen to somebody that does. Because I'm here to tell you how it does, how it works. Terence Crawford, number one, has already watched the fight of Floyd beating Canelo. He's already watched the fight of Bivol beating Canelo. He studied those fights. He went and practiced some of those things that he saw those guys use to beat Canelo. What are we talking? Why are we acting like Terence Crawford is not an elite level fighter when we want to hate on him? Turning his Ali jab and Loma forward? What are you talking about, Marty Mack? What are you really talking? Like, you don't even make, like, that's the thing about casual logic. You don't even make no sense. Like a casual boxing fan circle where y'all casual fan shit amongst each other and you convinced each other that they're fans, and then you go out into the real world and try to say that shit like it's real. And it's not. Harry Collier, let's bet. Pancho Villa, Mayweather weight drain Alvarez. Mayweather didn't beat Alvarez at full strength. And how about Dimitri Bivol? Did Bivol beat him at full strength? Since you got a good excuse for that ass whooping, what excuse do you got for this ass whooping? Y'all see it? He got an excuse for the Mayweather ass whooping. Now, Harry, I need you to understand something. Pancho Villa, I need you to understand something. You say he weight drained Canelo. Bro, Canelo was fighting at 154 and they fought at 152. Do you really think that's an excuse? 2 pounds? When when Floyd Mayweather was moving up from 147. So Floyd Mayweather had to move up 5 pounds. And Canelo Alvarez only had to drop 2 pounds. Pancho Villa, you don't even realize the level of goofiness behind saying that Canelo Alvarez was weight drained because of 2 pounds. That's a new level of goofiness to say that he was drained over 2 pounds. That's a real bad excuse. So figure out another one or just accept that Floyd kicked his ass. But then tell me, since he was weight drained for that one, according to you, he moved up to fight Dimitri Bivol at 175. What's your excuse for that one? I look forward to seeing it in the comments. Giovanni Walker, what's up, Jay Smith? Giovanni Walker, salute, my brother. Appreciate you dropping in. Moscovich, in this era, American fighters get too much hype. For example, Wilder, all those PBC fighters, one fight and they're gone. But the English fighters keep fighting, like Derek Chisora. I think there's different factors. There's different factors to it. Because remember, there's cases where guys just make a shitload of money and they could, like, look at Wilder. With the money that he made, Wilder don't even have to come back. He came back because he wanted to. But Chisora hasn't made the type of money that Wilder made. So he got to keep coming back to keep making that money. I guarantee you, if Chisora was fighting in the U.S. and he's already fought for 20 million and 30 million, he wouldn't be fighting. He'd probably be retired too. So that's only one element, right, to take into consideration. If guys are making mad money, when they start losing, it's easy to just say, just retire. Fuck it, I got a lot of money. Chisora been losing, took a few L's, but he can't just retire. He don't got it like that. He don't got, generational wealth where he's going to be living a certain lifestyle for the rest of his life if he retires. Ray Gordo, Floyd was up in age in that fight and was supposed to be a stepping stone for Canelo. That's true. You see, that's the thing. People always try to float the idea. Well, not people, Canelo fans. Canelo fans always try to float the idea that, no, he got weight drained and he was too young. But they never speak about the fact that Floyd Mayweather was 38 years old. They'll go around telling you, for example, they'll tell you that everybody watched when they that age. They'll tell you, no, this guy's washed. Sean Porter was washed when Crawford beat him at 36. But 38-year-old Floyd beats Canelo, and they don't say nothing about that. They don't say nothing about his age. He wasn't washed. Interesting, right? Very interesting. Pancho Villa, Mayweather fought Alvarez at a catchweight, so he didn't beat him at full strength. Pancho Villa, the catchweight was 2 pounds. What are you talking about? Canelo was a 154-pounder, and he fought Floyd at 152. It's 2 pounds, bro. And Floyd Mayweather was, and Canelo Alvarez was fighting little 147-pounder Floyd, who was moving up to fight him. To say that 2 pounds is weight drain, that's diabolical, bro. Diabolical. Diabolical. Whoa. My brother Giovanni Walker dropped in on the super chat with the 10-piece. With the 10-piece nugget. Giovanni Walker, my brother. Bam, salute. I appreciate you. Y'all already know my line when you guys hit me up, when you guys bless me. That 10 spot is not going to make you any poorer. It's not going to make me any richer. But it's showing that you appreciate what I'm doing out here, my brother. This morning, I've been on for a few hours. I've been giving you guys the best I can. You know that sometimes I'm going to disagree with somebody. I'm going to agree with somebody. We're going to trash talk. We're going to go back and forth. But at the end of the day, we all love the sweet science, my peoples. That's what it's really about. So I appreciate you, Giovanni Walker. Salute. MS. When Bub beats Canelo, what will Canelo fans make up as an excuse? I don't know. I don't know what the excuse is going to be. I'm pretty sure they'll figure something out. They will definitely figure something out. Because at the end of the day, look, it's like I said before. Boxing is the only sport where somebody could watch it on TV and think that they could go at somebody who practiced the sport, who's involved in the sport. I'm involved in the sport of boxing, my people. I'm in constant touch with some of the fighters that you guys watch on TV. And some guy just watching shit on his cell phone, think he an expert. I gotta ignore you. Pancho Villa, you can lose 2 pounds of water and replace it overnight by rehydrating overnight. But if you burn muscle, you can't replace it overnight. The problem with what you're saying, Pancho Villa, is that you're deciding what Canelo lost and what Canelo gained. How did you come to that conclusion? How do you come to the conclusion that he lost 2 pounds of muscle? What? So again, you make stuff up out of thin air to feed your narrative, my brother. There is nothing that you're aware of that told you that Canelo lost 2 pounds of muscle. What are you talking about? Stop, bro. Stop trying to make stuff up out of thin air to make it fit your narrative. That's what you're doing. Because you're saying you can't lose 2 pounds and it could be water, it could be muscle. Well, you don't know what Canelo lost. What are you talking about? El Gallo Negro. Looks like you're sure Crawford is going to beat Canelo. We'll see about that. Look, I've said this before. I'm not a psychic. Nobody is. You could have a prediction and you could be wrong. But my prediction is based on an assessment as an analyst. I'm not making a prediction like Jay Petty over here. He don't like Crawford, he like Canelo, that's it. He's going to try to make all the arguments to fit Canelo. I don't do that, my peoples. If he was fighting somebody who I felt could beat him, if Crawford fighting somebody I felt could beat him, I would tell you, nah, this guy could beat him. My peoples. My peoples. My bad, I stepped away for a second, man. I had a telemarketer. A telemarketer. Yo, people still trying to telemarket you? That's crazy work. That's crazy work. Telemarketer was trying to get me. Raw dog. He's undisputed at 168. The hard way. Not like Devin's email and Camboza's route. Fanny Lopez. Say hi. Raw dog. Haney has the weakest path to undisputed in boxing history. And that's a fact. No, that's a fact. That's real. That, there's no getting around that. But him having the weakest path to undisputed is not his fault. It's not something that he chose. Lomachenko, remember, vacated the title, decided he didn't want to fight him. And then Teofimo lost to Cambosis. So it's not really that. That's why in boxing, sometimes a fighter doesn't have a choice in the path that he's going to take. Because he's going to fight the people who he can fight, the people who's in front of him. You can't fight somebody who won't fight you. Look at Shakur Stevenson. How can he fight Tank Davis if Tank Davis don't want to fight him? How can he fight Devin Haney if Devin don't want to fight him? So, damn, that would be great if Shakur could sit there and say, yo, I beat Tank and I beat Devin. He'd be the face of boxing today. But how you going to beat dudes that refuse to get in the ring with him? You can't do it. Armando Aguilar, man, I can't wait for Canelo stop, but I'm coming straight to this channel. Nah, you're not coming. You come straight to this channel, but you're going to keep real quiet because you watch Crawford get beat up. You watch Canelo get beat up the same way Errol Spence got beat up. The same way you felt when you watched Errol Spence getting beat up, that's the same way you're going to feel when Canelo's taking a beating. Whole weight. Jay Petty, again, Canelo didn't even stop Charlo. He wasn't bigger than the fighters I named. Armando Aguilar, wait, known fighters you train with. Pancho Villa, I know what a weight drain fighter looks like, and Alvarez looks like a skeleton at the Mayweather win. Oh my God. So you're saying that a two-weight difference makes a guy look like a skeleton? That's a straight up lie. A straight up lie. That's the thing, Pancho Villa. When you want to defend somebody and you have your own narrative, you're always going to make up some fake stuff that only you believe. And hardcore Canelo fans want to believe it. And people over there in Mexico want to believe it. It wasn't weight drain. 2 pounds don't make nobody weight drain. Now he fought little Floyd Mayweather, who was 38 years old. Floyd Mayweather was washed at 38. A washed up Mayweather beat Canelo. You see that angry Mexican? That's what you skip. 38 years old, washed up Floyd made it look easy against Canelo. Too easy. Too easy. Just beat him up and embarrassed him. Had Canelo out there looking like a C-level fighter. When I watched Canelo versus Bud, my peoples, when I watched Floyd versus Canelo, I felt like I could beat Canelo. I watched Floyd. Yo, Floyd made him look so bad that I felt like, yo, I could beat that nigga. Now beat the chalupas out of him right now. And he is an elite level champion, but just Floyd made him look bad, yo. Made him look like an average Joe. I was watching that fight like, damn, I think maybe I could beat Canelo. Shit. I could put the beats on him. Fanny Lopez, man, Crawford ain't beating Canelo. You crazy. He can win, though. But ain't no Canelo getting beat down. But Canelo can knock Crawford out. So Fanny Lopez, all I'm telling you is that was the same narrative that we saw with Errol Spence. And we saw how that fight played out. Not only that, we saw how Dimitri Bivol made it look easy against Canelo Alvarez. Dimitri Bivol made Canelo look like he's a dishwasher by day and a boxer by night. That's what Dimitri Bivol did. Johnny Law, Floyd stepped to Canelo the whole fight too. Come on, my people. Come on. Dimitri Bivol made Canelo look like he rolls burritos and Taco Bell in the daytime in his day job and just put the gloves on and went to box at night with Floyd. Y'all seen it. Y'all seen it. Armando Aguilar. I'm not comparing Spence to Canelo. I'm comparing how you said that Spence was too big. You said that Spence was too strong. You said Crawford wasn't going to be able to handle the power. I'm comparing what you said that Spence was going to do versus what you're saying Canelo is going to do now. When you said Spence was going to do that and he got pummeled, you should have learned back then. Should have said, damn, I thought Crawford was going to get beat up, and he absolutely battered the guy. And you didn't learn back then. Well, you're going to learn on September 13th. He's going to reteach you what he taught you versus Errol Spence. Carlos Paris, Crawford fights on September 14th. No, it's, well, maybe based on the time, but it's actually September 13th. It's Saturday, it's September 13th. JJ Center has Jay Smith. Please let everyone know about men's mental health and health. Hell yeah, my peoples. Mental health is super, super. Let me tell you guys something. I'm going to definitely give a little bit about mental health. Armando Aguilar, you're just deriding Bud. So you see when we debate back and forth, and you start being disrespectful, I'm deriding because I'm formulating an argument. So Armando Aguilar, because you gone back and forth enough, I'm gonna give you one shot. Cool. You talk about I'm deriding, I'll give you one shot. I'll let that one slide. But the next time you say some goofy ass shit like that, I'm not even gonna respond. I'm gonna just block you out of here. And I don't want to block you out of here because I know you're a fan of boxing. But when you say you deriding, you sound dumb as hell. You're making yourself look goofy right now. Just because I'm debunking you, just because I'm explaining to you that you don't know shit about boxing, doesn't mean that you got to get into disrespect. Because when I'm telling you that you don't know shit about boxing, I'm just being honest with you, my guy. I'm not trying to disrespect you. I'm being honest. But when you say that, you're being disrespectful, bro. So I let that one slide, but the next one I'll block you. And that's it. Easy work. Motown 909's facts. If you rock it, it's disrespectful. You're saying chalupas and burritos and dishwashers. Bro, I didn't say that to you. Now you talking about what I'm saying to fighters? Now you sounding goofy as hell. I didn't say that to you. You talking about dick riding to me. So if you disrespect me again, I'm gonna have to block you, and then you just looking goofy as hell. Now you look even goofier talking about what I said about fighters. I didn't say that to you, bro. So if you want to call fighters names, do that. I'm not gonna. I don't care. Don't mix what you're saying about me to what I'm saying about fighters. Now I gotta cook you on how to express yourself too. Cooking you on boxing, teaching you about boxing. I gotta teach you how to communicate. Come on, man. We passed that. And look at Jay Petty. Look at Jay Petty trying to form an alliance up in here just because I cooked them earlier. Jay Petty, you already got cooked trying to get somebody to gang up with. I'll block both of your goofy asses out, but I'm not going to. But y'all goofy as hell. My man trying to say, yo, look, he going at you too, and he went at me. He cooked me. Stop. Armando Aguilar, because I'm Mexican too, fool. You block me, then you're goofy. That you Mexican too? What the fuck does that you being Mexican got to do with anything, bro? Being Mexican don't mean you got... Also, because you Mexican, you disrespect people who rooting for a black fighter, because that will make you a racist. Like, what do you do? What are we talking about? I don't give a damn that you Mexican. What the hell that got to do with anything? Because you Mexican, you got to say that I'm deriding Bud? Come on, baby. Come on, baby. It's like you keep being goofier and goofier, and then you bring up the word goofy. That's the last word in your vocabulary when you acting goofy as hell. Amanda Aguilar, just like you. Amanda Aguilar, look how goofy you are. Peace. Make up a new account now with a fake name and come here jump on my balls, because you on my balls watching me, sucker. Peace. What a goofball. Boom. Raw Dog, Canelo, the favorite Jay Smith. It's an uphill battle for Bud. You see? That's something that I cannot dispute, my brother. I don't believe that it's an uphill battle, but Canelo's the favorite road dog. When you hit me with facts, no matter how much boxing I know, I cannot dispute facts. Yes, Canelo is the favorite. I can't take that away from you. Yo, Jay Petty, don't become the next Armando Aguilar. Look at his goofy ass got kicked out for talking that dumb shit. You see? Goofy ass got kicked out. Now y'all gonna see Armando. Look, this is when I realized that Box Center is good for boxing. I'm not trying to toot my own horn here, but I'm gonna show you when I realized it. When I started kicking people out of here and they started making new accounts with a whole new name and subscribing again, that's when I knew. I like, damn, I'm kicking you out of here. I'm like, yo, get out of here. Get out of here. Block you. And you still find your way to come back so you can still keep watching. You even come back and stay quiet. Come on now. Jay Petty, why do you believe it's an uphill battle? Okay, so it's reasonable to say that it's an uphill battle because Canelo is the guy in the higher division and Crawford is the guy moving up. So the popular narrative is that Crawford is too small and Canelo's too big. Now, why don't I believe that it's an uphill battle? Very simple. Everybody is completely disregarding their actual physical size. Everybody's so focused on a weight class that they just not understanding that Canelo's a little dude and Crawford is right around his same size. So the size difference is not much, but it actually favors Crawford because he has the longer reach and the height, right? So the physical advantages that Crawford possesses are noticeable, very noticeable in the arm length. But the strength difference that you feel like Canelo possesses is not going to be there like you think it is. So that's why I feel like it's not the uphill battle that people want to believe. It's not. Look, this is the perfect example of that uphill battle is that picture. The giant against the little guy. Who exactly is the giant in that picture? Who exactly is the little guy in this picture? Look, that's all I'm saying. Who's the giant? Who's the super big guy? So I don't see an uphill battle because there isn't a difference in size like people got to paint it inside their head. And there won't be a difference in power like people got to paint it in their head. People think Canelo's going to punch Crawford and Crawford's going to fall like a brown paper bag and going to roll all over the place. And Canelo's just going to be walking him down. Crawford don't got the power to hold him back. All these horrible assessments that people are making about the way this fight plays out. The same way that they made those assessments with Crawford and Errol Spence. MS, back in May, I seen a sparring video between Canelo and Daniel Alejandro Lopez Alvarez, a.k.a. La Bestia, from Guadalajara. Canelo got his ass beat. Canelo told him to delete video from his IG. I never saw that video. But I tell you what, it should be out there. If that video is real, it should be out there. Because, trust me, if somebody posted a video of them putting the beats on Canelo, that video was replicated, recorded, screenshotted, reposted, sent to different websites. So, I've never seen that video, so I don't know if it actually existed or if that actually happened. I have to, for me to say, yeah, that happened, I have to see the video myself. Carlos Perez. Yo soy familia del boxeador Miguel Montilla. Oh, hey, Miguel Montilla mete mano. Miguel Montilla mete mano. Saludos, hermano. John Parham. No shit. JJ said that has J. Smith. Take away wrenches and give out goofy stickers. My God. I've been taking, like, the last few days, and I'm going to keep doing it. I'm going to take away a lot of wrenches because here's what happened, right? I gave out a bunch of wrenches, but my idea was we're going to be this family and we're going to go back and forth. But I didn't realize how many haters I gave wrenches to. Maybe at that moment the haters had a good, because just because you're a hater doesn't mean that you can't come up with a good talking point, right? So maybe the haters, you know, especially the in the closet haters who hide their hate and then expose themselves by hating left and right on the fighter that they don't like. That's the way the cookie crumbles, my people. My people, so listen, I'm about to end this live, about to get the hell out of here. As always, before I do, I want to give a shout out to everybody who tuned in. John Parham, LT Phipps, Ems, hating ass Pancho Villa. Pancho Villa, one of the biggest haters in the building, be for real. Straight Nick, Raw Dog, Fanny Lopez, Jay Petty, MS. Who else showed up? Sharon, salute to Sharon. Fanny Lopez, JJ Zendejas, Carlos Perez, and everybody else who tuned in this morning, my peoples. I appreciate you guys coming through. Y'all already know, man. This is Boxing for Breakfast, where you get your healthy dosage of sweet science early in the morning. And if you want to come through, watch me cook the people that want to be, you know, watch me cook these TV experts. I'll be happy to cook them for your entertainment purposes, my people. I'm out of here. Y'all already know what it is, man. I'm Jay Smith. Had a good time this morning with you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed it as well. I'll see you tomorrow. We're going to do it again, man. Peace.